man is not a hero, he's a criminal. Shut up!
Hey everybody, it's your buddy Admiral Teag. How the hell you doing? What's going on out there? It's good to see everyone, and it's good to be here. Hey, what's going on, Mr. House Party 6? What's going on, John the Beagle Dad? Mark Harkness is here. It's good to see all of you, and for everyone who comes through later, including people like my pal Kyle Cullen, say hi, hit the like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about anything we discuss over the next couple of hours while we'll be here schmoozing. There's been a lot going on. Last night, I had some real enjoyment. After a day of depression and having to do the same things that everyone else does to get through a normal day, I got to see, just by luck, it was late, there's nothing else going on, and I put on the Oakland game, and it went 11 innings. It was really good. It ended with a lot of fun. It was a real hell of a game, and I'm thinking to myself, Admiral, sir, because I call myself sir, Admiral, sir, what are you thinking of this team? They don't even have a city. They don't even have a city. And I'm just like, well, at least they're not playing Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay does not have a stadium, right? They have a city but no stadium. And for the first time, has there ever been a team with no city before? That would be, to me, what would be great was a team with no city that was only allowed to wear road grays, but they would have like orange jumpsuits. Everybody who like used performance enhancing drugs and did something wrong, they would have to travel on like a traveling team where like their numbers counted, but they weren't like playoff eligible or something. So just go around with all the people who got suspended for like drunk driving and like beating people up and throwing people out windows and like doing cocaine and doing performance enhancing drugs. Make them all be on one team. Call them like the Nomads or like, I don't know, the Road Warriors. Don't let them have their own home stadium, because could you imagine? And everyone has like an 8-digit number because it's like a prison team, and their color's like orange, like, you know, like the state prison like team for like, you know, someone like Alex Rodriguez could have done well on a team like that. Because he's like a guy that doesn't really deserve to be rooted for, in my opinion. I didn't like Alex Rodriguez. I thought he was inadmirable. Will people say that's because I don't like him because he's Latino? Maybe, but I mean, I am Latino too, so I got that one covered. So what else do we have in common? We both have terrible taste in women. But, well, I mean, at least I got my girlfriends for free. What a weirdo. And I never had to take drugs to do my job better. I don't think he was worthy to play next to the great Derek Jeter, and I don't think he was all that great. But last night's game with the athletes, good athletics, good stuff. It's like a minor league stadium, and Tampa Bay is playing in the Yankees minor league stadium while they get, I guess, a new stadium. The weird thing is, for Tampa Bay, just hike the ticket prices a little and enjoy the sellouts rather than an angry crowd or no crowd because you're out of town, right? It's good to see you all. Teag's team, like movie 12 O'Clock High, you will fly as crew of in a B-17, which we named the Leper Colony. That was a really wild movie. You have to think for a moment, watching it, all the things that have happened off screen before Greg, played by Gregory Peck, right? Is that his name? But or Matt, whatever his name is. The new colonel shows up. He's going to straighten out this bomber group, like for the final drive of the beginning of the end offensive that's going to start, and it's going to last till the end of the war. They're ramping up, and we're going to end the war on this one. Now, do they know if the end of the war is in 2 years or 10? No. Is it a lot closer to 2? It's like barely 2. Once they start ramping up in England and start doing the round-the-clock bombing, the Germans are like really just, we're like all over them like a cheap suit. But there were problems with people not wanting to complete their runs and other stuff like that, and low morale, because the bomber war was a real grind, and we saw that in Masters of the Air. It did visualize some air-to-air combat very well, but for the most part, I felt that movie missed the boat. I felt that maybe it was a bad movie, and that maybe there were some things about it that didn't go far enough in any places at all. It didn't go far enough in a few places, and also it went a bit too far in a lot of other places. For instance, when we're counting on understanding who our heroes are, and this is important because it's in combat, They're being very realistic, which I appreciate. But the realism, like 3 or 4 things get heaped together that ruin that realism. One is everyone is wearing a hoodie uniform, right? This makes everybody look more or less the same. Masters of the He says Crimlon. Crimlon Masters of the Air was like it wanted to be decent. The combat sequences were engaging, but it wasn't a very good or cohesive story. After we do Band of Brothers, we never get all our characters in the same unit going to the same place doing the same thing at the same time. And the nature of the way they do these World War II documentaries that are very real to life and very enjoyable, it's narrow casting for the history buff who's going to overlook the narrative problems, but maybe Masters of the Air was a little too far. It may have gone a bit too far in a few places. And Spielberg's son, or his adopted son, whichever one it is, it's his son in my eyes. That guy, he's never going to shake Nepo higher on that, but I will say his acting was good. But here's our problems. In combat sequences, as nice as the air-to-air stuff could look on the CGI, and sometimes it did, you have guys in uniforms that are identical that are jumpsuits. So that really breaks up features, really breaks up the body silhouettes, so you can't really get a good idea visually. I would have flown naked the whole time instead of just at the end. It was too cold, Crimlon! Crimlon, it's freezing in there. We were all naked underneath our clothes. I mean, maybe women's underwear would have been the compromise on this one because, quite honestly, this one, it looked cold in the plane. But here's the thing, Crimlon and everybody else, when they're in these planes, they've got oxygen masks on, and Steven Spielberg and company are very good with being salaciously dedicated to details. So their uniforms are pretty perfect, but the thing is they're identical and they're shapeless and they have visors and masks and helmets and gas masks. Even the pilots have masks and goggles. We can't very well see everyone very well. And when people talk, we hear constricted voices. So all we know is it one of the pilot or co-pilot? Is it one of the guys in the waist gun? Is it the nose bomber guy? We don't know. Is the guy we're seeing transmitting or is he the one receiving? We don't know. We don't know. And who is it? Which plane? We don't know. We just don't know. So as they get into combat, the most important thing about the combat movie is that we know who's in danger and who's in jeopardy. Think about the end of Saving Private Ryan, right? The whole thing where Mellish is fighting with the Yahtzee while Upham is like kind of having a failure. And it sucks because Upham's outside of his training and then he also kind of offs a guy. But like there's some empathy, if not sympathy, because we don't feel he did the right thing. We just feel that maybe he was in over his head. We feel that there's some empathy for Upham there. Or all of us like are glad we're not Upham at least. It would only have been slightly shriveled. Crimlon is just you would have the prawn spread out around the window of the ports that they fired the guns out of, and that would keep him warm. I imagine just the boots so his feet could like step on that red hot brass without any problems. Would you have gotten the high heeled combat boots? The B-29 was for the first pressurized bomber, so those B-24 and B-17 and B-24 crews are in real nasty conditions. I don't think they went up above the biosphere or whatever you want to call it till real late in the flight, or they had pressurization that they blew off, something like that. They climbed higher later on. They tried to stay down where they could deal with it for a while, but for most of their flight that mattered to us, the viewer, and I don't remember how it worked in those bombers. What can I tell you? Training was a long time ago. Saving Private Ryan was a lot better than Masters of the Sky. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Masters of the Air had too many problems. Does every service deserve a good movie? Yeah. The Navy got Greyhound, so I mean, be happy at least that Masters of the Air had some exciting parts. Greyhound wasn't bad, and I've heard talk of Greyhound too, but like it was too far-fetched and too many things happened to that one ship for it to be overly believable. Because what happens, like sometimes in these stories, we'll take a lottery winner approach. We follow the characters in Saving Private Ryan simply because they're sent on that mission, and some of them survive because some of them survive. They win the lottery of being the people who are on the mission. So we're following them before this event happens. That is normal cinematic device that makes sense. We don't follow people who don't make it to at least the second round of your story that much, right? They might be around, but they're supporting characters. In Band of Brothers, they do a much better job of what they tried to do. And Crimlon, Crimlon saving Ryan's privates. Not a very nice thing to say about our friends in the Rangers. And man, like that movie barely holds up to historical scrutiny as it is. The first wave had no medical attention, so imagine how scary that was. And I'm glad to be descended from an American that was there. Was my German grandfather there? Don't know. And that brings us to the other thing that happened. The Critical Drinker got copyright struck by HBO for show The Last of Us video essay by him. Now, I am going to assume that Critical Drinker, being the master that he is, did not pick up any damage in his video essays. The fact they did this to him at all is scary for everyone, but it's censorship in the most Orwellian sense of the word. Now, this is terms of services, and it's not on the platform so much as it's on HBO. HBO seems to be the ones behind this. They did need, yes, it did need saving so that he could be an old man and cry at the beginning. I don't like the wraparound as much as I understand it was to nail them into a consciousness. It was like they so belong to history already. I would have liked to have seen the American servicemen maybe with each other. I don't know. I'm not going to question Spielberg's narrative choices in his last really good movie, because then we get Lincoln and it's not so good, right? You're not wrong. No, someone had to save them. The sequel to Greyhound should be called In Spirit Successor, follow an officer and some sailors aboard the battleship Texas from Normandy to Iwo Jima. USS Texas was there. We could do that, or we could have like a fictionalized enough ship. The best thing you could do is have a destroyer-sized ship. Tom's a little freaking old, though. How old is he at this point? 65? Is he 70? He looks a lot older for his age, and he hasn't had much in the way of face surgery, but he has had a little. And he looks real old, man. And he has like a big, crazy meth head beard. He looks like wild with these days. I was giggity the wraparound. Yeah. Okay. So what? Like, some people saw a good movie. I saw that his daughters were hot, right? That was my takeaway. I was like, his daughter's pretty cute. And like, he's crying. I'm like, whatever. Grandpa will be okay. And then the movie really gets going, and it's a lot better than you would think the beginning or the end of it. I would like to lose the beginning and the end. I do like the John Williams music. I would like to maybe see people going to the graveyard. I don't need to know that. Maybe Ryan felt the need to earn it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to question his vision, but like, it's not the choice I would have made. And yes. All right. So Crimlon agrees. Are we entertaining you? Are you not entertained? Do me a favor. Help me polarize the hall. Hit those like and follow buttons. And like I said, if you're coming through later, do that as well. Help me get to 30 likes per live stream. I'm trying to make that my goal. And any of you can help me do that. It helps me out a lot. Also, tweeting out off the YouTube browser that the Admiral's out there live, that helps me. And if you could leave your browser open while you listen, that also, of course, it helps me. It's a very strong analytic. It allows us to do stuff like watch parties. There are some non-watch party Star Trek Saturday Night experiences coming up. I don't know if it'll be the next one, though. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a bunch of watch parties. One thing I think we talked about was doing Jolene Blaylock's Space Crack arc in 1 3-episode bite, or at least the two that like are related to each other and back to back together. We're doing a Space Crack arc. We're skipping almost all of season 3. We're going to do a lot. We have 21 episodes that we're going to do. We have covered 36, which leaves us 75. At the end, we will have covered 57. That's much more than half. 7%, 57% is, pretty good. Plus all the two-parters and stuff that we'll get in there. We'll probably make it to like maybe more like 61 episodes covered. And we are going to circle back to Enterprise and stuff like that when we need a break from TOS. Not because TOS isn't great, but for me to crank out the uploads, I would need to just leave my job. We would be so far behind on uploads, it would be ridiculous. I don't know what I'd do. Do the primary ones and then release all the smaller ones later. It's a lot of work to make these things, whether you believe it or not. I have to reobtain my license for my editing software today. That's another little bite. The new thing they're doing is trying to undemocratize the way we talk to you and the way we talk about art and the way we talk about pop culture. And the way they're trying to do that is by installing a lot of fees. The most cynical and most horrible ones are the top tier X premium fee. It's far too high. And really right now I'm staying off of X. If you notice for the last few shows in the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking about X before I do it. No, I reserve the right to go there anytime, but why not do it like this? And really, like, I don't turn the commercials on anyway. So what you can do to help me out, the super chat you don't have to send, is to comment later and to tweet out off the browser that Admiral Teag is in fact live. I have to go on when I won't get bots warmed. I can't get the maximum amount a person of my stature usually gets, but you know what? Last minute, unannounced, no PR. Everyone who watches later, the difference you make, I can't thank you enough. So we had the Met Gala. The one thing that most people seem to be talking about this thing is we had Kamala, and I thank everybody who's coming online and leaving their browsers open. And thank you. Yeah, Mark, you might need them. Who knows what's going to happen here? But you know what? There was a gala here in New York City, the Metropolitan Opera. Allegedly, I think, operates like more or less for free. And what happens is, like, poor people, I don't think have a lot of interest. I don't think you're going to go in there and see the poorest of the poor walking in, but allegedly on paper you can. You can walk into any New York City museum with a New York City driver's license, too. I don't know if you can fly without an enhanced driver's license. Let me know, guys, because I might need to fly soon, and I don't know. I just have a regular driver's license. Do I have to get the new one? I don't like the picture on my old driver's license, but woo, the enhanced license, what a drag. But I will be hopefully flying soon. Maybe another summertime trip to Florida gets that close. Mr. House Party 6 who's here early. Cloaks! You know what? That's cool. Just leave that browser open and hang out here. Hopefully vote in our poll. Let's take a look. It was opened up right before the showtime. Let's see how many votes we got here. And I have the live, not the top chat on. It says, are you looking forward to get that? Forward. Looking forward to Fantastic Four. 18%. Yeah, it's going to be great. Some people have faith. Okay. No, MCU is done. 64%. Most popular answer by far. Also clocking in at 18%, taking wait and see attitude. And everyone wants in on the results of this one, and it's shifting slightly. We're up to 12 votes. It's going to be great, up to 25%. There's some optimism for this one. How can you be this optimistic? All right. Well, I mean, you guys have a right. A lot of states require valid ID, real ID to fly. So that means you can fly somewhere and get stuck not going home. That would suck. I mean, I guess, like, does it break down red state, blue state? Would they be unsympathetic to be like, well, Yankee, guess you just should have gotten yourself a real ID before you came down here to go fishing in the Gulf of America. You go down to Cuba, you Latino, you Latinx. I can't stand the word Latinx. I won't check that box. I've never really checked the box anyway, but, like, when it comes down to, like, the word Hispanic don't bother me. The word Latino doesn't bother me. The word Spanish doesn't bother me because these words have some accuracy and some basis in history. There is a word that rhymes with sick that doesn't bother me because it just doesn't bother me. And I'm not the kind of person who feels bothered by these pejoratives, but there are some who do. And you know what? While we're on that topic and being bothered by things and taking things out of context, calling someone a bad husband because they're willfully engaging in sabotaging people's shows, in my opinions, right? And, they're willfully doing things and they're never working. That's not an insult to the wife. That's just calling someone a bad person to be married to. And it's no reflection on your partner. In fact, it's an advocation for them. People have gone a bit too far in a few places saying that this is something I ever said. Gap After Dark is here. Woo! Gap, just a drive-by low and a very short break. Hope everybody is doing well. Say hello to Teag in the chat. See you guys soon. Leave me a comment after the show, too, my friend, to make up for it. I will miss you. I'll miss you. I'll love you guys. I have to say, this is an affirming thing to do, and to see all 8 of you out there right now, like, on zero notice. You know how many of my fans are in this time zone? I'm just so lucky to do it. And have Mr. House Party 6 decloaks to hell, Gap After Dark. And I think Admiral Teag proclaims to be a Latanzi. Yes, I'm a Latanzi. Is that like, that sounds so simian, doesn't it? It's like, Latanzi. It's like, imagine like a wildlife photographer and it's like Rachel Ziegler. And you see like a group of like not like, forget the 100 men to one ape. It's like Rachel Ziegler versus one orangutan. That would be a fight, man. And she could have a tool. Give her a golf club. That's the weapon of the week, right? And what's going on with this? Apparently, this The Last of Us show just keeps getting weirder. Now we have lesbians, and now we have Scissor Sisters, which is a great band name. Now, there already is a band with that name, so unfortunately you can't do it, but they do a great remix of Pink Floyd, so maybe check that out. But there is, let's see, Hail Gap After Dark. I am an American. I will never be and have not ever been an American. That's right. That's right. And you know what? Like, all kidding aside, like, people really are getting just too. I wonder if it's starting to bleed over. I'm finally seeing it a lot later than I thought on X. Here and there, in a few more weeks, it'll be everywhere. I am tired of hearing about politics. The infotainment scan has been overlapped for about 18 months in America. That's about as long as it wants to be. It stays overlapped for longer every time, and it's not disentangled yet. And the midterms will heat it back up in a few more months, but we have only been able to stream free and clear. Clear and free, free as the air we breathe. It's messed up that during the election we had an easier time than we did after we came under scrutiny after the election when people started causing problems. But you know what? That's the price of standing for something. Scissor me timbers! Cries an AOC like an American Guardian, seeing Garbug, seeing Basura, El Basura. You know what? That guy turned out to not be a Guardian. Isn't that crazy? And I predict that me, the guy who said it here first, is predicting this. Guardian's going to catch on. Because I can say there's no good Guardians and I'll be okay. Because in the movie that we saw, some of the Guardians were in fact no good, including perhaps Tiona. I don't know what morally to make of what happens to Tiona, except it's a mess and I would have taken the breaks they handed her. I don't know. Germ had something right. He was right about them not being able to film an end that they wanted. His reasoning was they couldn't get the casting back. They could have still made an excuse why that guy wasn't in court. If we could think of it, they could. So it was bad writing if they didn't, but wow. We will, you know what? Who hasn't, is that not in fact what Mr. Miyagi does when he attends to the bonsai tree? And in America, we have a game called baseball. And in baseball, we have a team called the Cleveland Guardians. And they were once called the Cleveland Native Americans. So what I have done is I have reappropriated their name to cover my ass so that I can say things in the way more or less that I want them. And when you hear me talking about Guardians, all the Americans now know. I don't know if the rest of the world does, but I looked and it was like 70% Americans. Lesbians, go on. All right, I want a hot real life action comedy, Thelma and Louise meets John Wick movie with hardcore sexual relationship between Anna de Armas and Sydney Sweeney. Who wouldn't go see that? Huh? Who wouldn't go see that? I know that a lot of people would go see that fucking movie. I'm worried about Ballerina, but I might see it anyway. You guys have really restored my ability and my desire to go see movies. And look who's here. It's my pal, Kyle Cullen. Hello, everyone, with Davy Crockett. Admiral Teag, king of the final frontier. We're streaming for vengeance because we need to be on when we can get a clean analytic off. It's good, guys. Meet my friend Kyle. Kyle, meet the live audience. I know you made it here yesterday. We stagger the live streams through the week, and the later in the week we go, the later in the day the stream is. Tuesday, we start at 3. Thursday, we start at 10. Fridays, we start at 3. The first, it's called 4 T's and an F. Tuesday, 3. Thursday, 10. Then 3 on Friday. You can make it. You can be, that might be 5 T's. You can make it. If you can make it, be there. If you can't, I'm coming to your time zone. Right now, people like RRTNZ are only sort of coming online. They're having their day right now. People on the West Coast of America, it's just about lunchtime. You can listen to me. I'm happy to reach out to you. People on the East Coast, coasting into the end of their day, but still very much at work, competing with some big players here. There are great people on when I jumped on, but you know what? I am unafraid, and you guys go before me always, and you know what? You give me hope. You give me a lot of hope, and I think that we can beat any other show. any other show on at this time is fortunate to be on at all. We're all fortunate to have this freedom of speech, and those who take it for granted by saying things like that they should be the ones who arbit when one of us can go on and when some can't go on. Now, that's just plain silly, isn't it? The idea that anyone owns this time of day. You got to do what you got to do. When I show up to win, and I show up with a script, and I show up with stuff to say. Are you as ready? Or are you leaning on your panel to be interesting for you? Can you retain with all the you have every pundit in the world? Can you retain the viewership? Is it real? Help me. Help me make a statement for the independent creative by tweeting out that I am live off of the browser, or later just tweeting out that my show exists. It's the super chat you don't have to send if you leave me a comment. I appreciate that one. So let's take a look at the biggest story out there right now. Is definitely this ongoing thing with Bella Ramsey. Everybody's really angry about it. I don't know. The actress, she's unconventional looking. She doesn't look like the character from the game at all. Pedro Pascal, closer. The people who play the game, by and large, are saying the game jumps the shark when Joel dies too. So is the show just losing interest at the same time that the interest is being lost by the people who played the game? Did a lot of people only play the game for the sake of finishing it after this point? Did a lot of people even quit? I don't know. If you played The Last of Us, let me know. I don't know. I know that from here on in, we don't have Pedro Pascal. Is it a relief that he's not father to all of America for a whole generation of people for like this much longer? In a little bit of a way it is, because I have gotten tired of Pedro, and I've gotten tired of his whacked out outfits, and I've gotten tired of him not dressing like an adult. It is crazy stuff how dumb Pedro dresses. And guys, not only are we alive, we have no commercials until later. I place 3 and only 3 commercials in this 2-hour live stream. And you know what? It's to keep you engaged. It's more important to me to get my point across and to have a show that's worth listening to. We're not going to trigger any live. I don't trigger them live. You got to come through later to get them. I make sure that at least a thought has been finished. Try not to do it in the middle of a sentence. I try to do my best. I don't have a lot of time. It takes a lot of pre-stream preparation with these strange things that go on with my channel. But you know what? I'm glad a lot of you have chosen to join the creator conversation with me. Let's just talk about The Last of Us for a minute. An unbelievable fight scene last week, followed by a romance nobody wants this week, with the critical drinker getting struck. This is bad news for everyone right now. It also weirdly happens on the day I have to renew my copyright for my streaming software. I'm still not sure if I'm going with Vegas or DaVinci. Vegas I could buy and own forever and never have to relearn anything new. And I could go at that for a good long time. Or DaVinci, it's like $15 a month. It's not really that much. And the free version it's usable. I'm using it right now to cut something for Fet for Hire that I have to get to him, but I don't know if I did a good job with it. But you know what? I don't know. I have limited re-recording ability. I'm just gonna have to be happy with it. Fet baby, it's on its way, my man. And you know what? Today's show's thumbnail featured the logo Fet for Hire made for me. I've been using it a lot ever since I started, and I'm really grateful for it. And in this community, one of the things you can count on is certain people will be there for you. And I knew I had arrived when I got my Fet for Hire logo. There it is, the Admiral Teag logo. Here's the bigger one. And I like that one with the fire and all that. But you know what? Let's keep talking about The Last of Us for a moment before we get too tangential and maybe circle back to more 1923 stuff. The Last of Us seems to be now the uninteresting part of their story is all of their story. And it's the last bit of it. And so this show has to wind down. I don't know if it'll go full House of the Dragon and start freaking out. Certainly there are indications that aren't good. And while House of the Dragon might recover, it's related to Game of Thrones, which didn't. Game of Thrones continued getting worse until it absolutely, totally, and completely imploded. And I think what I need to do to really make this show worthwhile is to find a way to maybe move myself to one of the most appealing spots on the board. We've got a lot of places for people to hang out here. I'm just happy to be here. You guys, the best. And, you there, me here, while we schmooze. But I'm looking to do something a little bit special. What I'm doing is I'm doing a little quick update. And then, yes, here she is. How about that for a little bit of engaging interest? If you keep your browser open, you get to see gorgeous Sydney Sweeney, who stands by your choices. Literally, she's standing right by them. And you know what? What a gift. That's two more people tuned in as soon as I put her on there. What a gift Sydney Sweeney's been. The cure for the woke entitlement. Unentitled to be in Hollywood, she's gotten pushed around and been forced to appear as not herself in half of her last 4 movies. Hopefully there'll be more coming out. She even was able to make Raffi from Star Trek Discovery tolerable in the movie Anyone But You, which I think might have been Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew updated a little bit. It seemed close. The initials of the characters were the same. And you're staring at a 70-inch TV. Oh man, that must be something. The glory of Sydney Sweeney on a 70-inch TV. I only have like a 50-inch. It's not gigantimous, but I don't have a gigantic apartment. I have to move stuff out of the way to turn the TV on. I watched a lot of baseball yesterday. I'm trying to get I would be too. And I'm only highlighting comments that don't overlap Sydney's, assets. Anyway, we have proceeded on to 13 votes, and it looks like there is a decent amount of optimism for Fantastic Four. Or are we having some good-natured trolling? It looks like at least half of you think the MCU is too done. Wait and see attitude, I guess, mostly means like if I go see it and I'm like, guys, I was wrong. This thing was better than I thought. People will then consider seeing it. I don't know, because the idea I go see this one after sitting through Thunderbolts, I don't know. It needs to be, I would hope, late in June. I need some recovery time from Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was bad. Thunderbolts, the rebrand is the new Avengers on X. I said it's a lot like the 2 times a year where the Jets get to wear an all black uniform and they tell the players, hey, yeah, no, it's not what it looks like. It's actually, you've been traded to the Steelers and you're a Steeler now. And we all got traded. The coaches, the stadium, the fans, we're all Steeler fans now. And we're going to go out there and win. And like they win because they got the black uniform on. It's like they flukishly win and they forget they're the Jets for one day. Is that the idea? Because this middle of the week of week 1's release, at the start of week 2, kicking off a new publicity campaign with a new name. When we were talking about saving Star Trek and the Saving Star Trek name, we were talking about maybe updating it or changing it. And, it was JT and Sean both said never back off your brand and that our name was too good to give up. So we held on to it. You don't back off your brand, but you know what? We're seeing a lot of people unable to do so. And with the MCU, what they have to do is like a rug pull on the whole world. It's like the mid-credit sequence is the after-credit sequence, right? But then there's an after-credit sequence where you find out that the name of the movie wasn't really the name of the movie. It was all, the operative thing was the asterisk. The new Avengers is not the TNA that Marvel needs. Quite honestly, up to 14 votes. The votes are pouring in. Hello, Jedi Master 2022's Lost in Space and Classic Sci-Fi. Watched a good bit of your stream last night with Lost in Space. Good stuff. A classic show. It's weird how a show that I think debuts the same year as classic Star Trek, because of the difference in the vision, is just so different. And it looks like a previous era sci-fi, which kind of gives a freshness date that feels expired by the time Star Trek starts to become more in the meta of what people think of as sci-fi. Because I think Star Trek, the other show does well, and this probably because an attractive female cast, but the other show does well. But Star Trek, I think, really starts to beat the shit out of it. And Star Trek might have lasted longer. And I think they're probably trying real hard. Yeah, bait and switch, exactly. You're welcome. Well earned. Did I know that Louis Pullman tried to change the name of Bob in Thunderbolts because he played Bob in Maverick? Yeah, and I forgot for a moment that he was the same Bob. He's that good of an actor. his part of the movie was something I did say. If you even go back to my review, I said I did enjoy that when the villain had his moment, he took full advantage of his moment and he used all his acting skill. I said that, so I was right in there with everybody else. I did not listen to other reviews, and I did not really think that all as much would line up as it did. Turned out that I lined it up most with Drinker, whose review came out after the movie anyway, so there was no way to coordinate. And I just thought it was a worse movie than most people did. People are divided. I thought it was much worse movie than they say because I didn't get the feeling that this person was depressed watching the movie. Yelena was the cock of the walk, as they say. She was really, really snotty and really, really cocksure and really nasty to people. But Lewis Pullman, you know why I like him? I think it's because, is it Lewis Pullman or Liam Pullman? I don't know, but Lewis Pullman, he is in Maverick. He's the son of Bill Pullman. He's president. He's the president from ID4's son. He's the president's son from Independence Day. And it's funny because his father plays a fighter pilot too, right? So he was ready to do it. And it's like, when he's talking, it's like there's something familiar about his voice. There's something familiar about his eyes. He's lankier than his dad. I don't know if he goes taller or thinner, but hopefully we'll see a lot more of Lewis Pullman. And boy, did he look trapped in that Guardian role. I guess you take it for the money and figure that people will forgive you for it now. It's Lewis Pullman for sure. I always want to call him Lewis Black, right? But okay, Lewis Pullman, and he goes with the W spelling, does he? All right, so Lewis Pullman, he's good, man. He's Bill Pullman's son, and he has acting skill about on par at the same age as his dad, which is to say, real good. And, will he give us an Independence Day-like speech? Well, there's no writing that good anymore. Maybe when they remake the movie because everything gets remade. But you'd have to shoot it off the same script. And honestly, what would be the point of remaking Independence Day? I honestly think, and I don't know how many people agree with me, but I've always thought that Roland Emmerich was beat for beat, flaw for flaw, and strength for strength, the poor man's George Lucas. Dialogue. Bogged down in dialogue a lot. Death Star and planetary-sized threats. Disaster movies, usually with a sci-fi impetus or a fantasy sort of thing, like sort of like Stargate and 2012 have like the mythology sci-fi aspect to them, like an Indiana Jones aspect to sci-fi. He does a lot of stuff that's just like George Lucas, especially Independence Day, which is beat for beat A New Hope. Think about it. I've often considered turning on the camera when I take a swig of my soda, but what would that be? Just me with my head back? You see the top of my baseball hat with the bill up and like some bubbles going through a small bottle of soda as I try to like hydrate myself. So please forgive me. And thank you for your indulgence, dear viewer. And I hope that HBO removes that block soon. They're not going to be able to keep it up for more than a day or two. I think that there's got to be serious money and influence involved to get them to do what they did. I'll tell you this, it makes me want to wait until it's resolved to do my next buy. I mean, I guess I'm going to do stuff anyway, but who really needs editing software? It's going to depress the price. Well, hopefully be resolved before it has a chance to, but they never really did have the clearest set of rules on what to do. And things you do live can get you in trouble if you try to re-upload the same thing because the AI really listens to everything. In the world of the live stream, it doesn't listen as much. People can do crazier stuff. You really do have to be pulling out that real enough gun for the AI to catch it because that's something it's really fine-tuned on. And if you could say kind of a lot of crazy things and get away with it, even though it's still, let's face it, like Guardian, it's not really demeaning to anyone. It's just fun to say. All right? And it's weird that by self-censoring in a way that is at least humorous, we can make a point about the censorship while bringing it to mind, reminding people using the censorship against itself as best we can. Because if we get censored, then we are saying nothing to anyone. But apparently, what this should lead to is some sort of clear rule book for video essays. And there's going to have to be amnesty on this one from this point forward. And maybe it gets more generous. Maybe they say 7 seconds is fair use. HBO went after a master video essayist. He's not going to have gone over the 5-second fair use established idea. I think it will be very difficult for HBO to maintain the block. I think it's days, if not hours, in the keeping of that block. Drinker has not backed down. He has not deleted the content, and he has called out HBO after he got himself a good nap. And the Drinker, man, you know what? Say what you will. That guy is productive. He makes a video every third day, and he's live once a week with one of the top live streams in the whole world, and maybe the top pop culture live stream in the whole world. Star-studded panel, really well constructed, great questions. And the only thing I question is, can a man that productive, doing work that good, really be drinking that much? He's really good. And he doesn't seem like, I mean, could anyone handle it? Yeah, I mean, he's young enough and strong enough to handle it. I mean, do I recommend it? No. No. Stay away from that toilet duck. But you know what? He's great at what he does, and he has been entertaining us for a while. He has mastered this medium. So I think that they're going to find that he's the one in the right. And what they'll have done is this would mess anyone else up. They do this usually out of spite. They did it to the Gourd King out of spite. They do it to me a lot out of spite. They demonetize or they claim part of your video, so you have to take it down and put it back up. And it's a drag. So with Drinker, I don't know. I think what they're going to have to do is you appeal it, and after a while you win. And let's see. If I ever want to join your panel now on Mondays, let you know. Okay, sir, no problem. The thing is, Mondays, what happens is this channel has a vigorous Friday, Saturday schedule. It's got a wild end of the week. Thursday, it's late nights. Friday, I'm on at this time, 3 Eastern time, U.S. And then on Friday nights, I'm on usually for the makeup show is later. Whatever I do networking wise, I go out and I do the other shows if I can that week. I try to book my guests, I cut video, and then I also do the Star Trek Saturday night show, which is going to be moving from Saturday Night Enterprise to Saturday Night regular TOS, and we'll be enjoying that together. The original series will be coming in about 20 to 30 weeks. We have about 100 episodes altogether of Enterprise. We've done 36 or 37 of them. We've come up with why the show failed. We have pretty much become frustrated by the way things are going, and I feel that it's very bad choice of episode order by them. Okay. What, as many uploads? Uploads are rough, man. They have to clear through copyright to be monetized, and they have to be made according to a certain style. And I've been lucky enough to only have a little bit of trouble with the copyright claiming. Other people who are better at it and who do more adventurous videos get in trouble more than me. I've gotten in trouble because what I've done has been very, very safe. It has been fairly creative, but I've stayed very, very safe. Oh, I know why they took you down last night. You played a copyrighted song, and Thunderstruck. Music copyright happens so much quicker. You also played like extensive video. You'll be cleared out in 2 or 3 days. But in the future, what you want to do is, I don't know about the music. The show music with John Williams taking over later in Lost in Space. Your music copyright is going to be very touch and go because John Williams, he holds on to stuff and he's punitive about that. So it might take down all monetization of the stream. And then when you get a stream that's like a stream that has songs that can share revenue, I don't know how much that affects it. I take the hit playing the Enterprise music, but I have made a YouTube legal video beginning. What it is I cut up the video and I edited it into short enough pieces so that it was able to be shown on YouTube. So yeah, let's see. For your opening song, I'm surprised the AC/DC song didn't get you. Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Yeah, Thunderstruck is going to get you every time because it's a hit by a very big artist. You're lucky it wasn't Ozzy Osbourne. That gets you taken down in all countries. Go to YouTube Studio. Go to Beta Music, Creator Music Beta. Go to that, find the song on there, and see what the consequence of playing it is. They'll tell you there. Yeah, shorten the clips a lot. You were playing too much. They're going to come after you. There's an art to this. This is how you do it. Let me show you. This is the entire life of Han Solo. And I like to say Han Solo, but I'm too congested. But the entire life of Han Solo in video, in 40 seconds, in clips that are compliant. Let's see if I can find it for you. Here we go.
One question. You want to live, Spark?
Yeah, but this time I've got the money. He tell Jabba.
Very nice.
I know that laugh.
Yes, anything.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, an $80 value, and this stream brought to you by the genius of George Lucas and the financial support of great friends like RRTNZ. Chuck Norris can win a tug-of-war without a rope. How about this? 99 men and one gorilla versus Chuck Norris. Now there's no one's bothering to debate that because it's Chuck Norris. We'd lose the gorilla and most of the men, but Chuck Norris, his hair would get messed up. He might get his hair messed up, but he'll kick. How many of those people did he kick right into the sun? They did not get you for your clips, just the music. They said in the email. Well, I don't know why. I would not play that dangerously. The video clips might take longer. I don't think you did any damage to your channel. But you want to look at reading the terms of service was the most boring thing about being a YouTuber, but it's why I'm still here. Gotta go at work now. Oh, it was great to see you, RRT, and said thank you so much for the generous $2 super chat. I heard your chat on Critical Drinker. It is always great when someone who's been on our panel is just like Critical Drinker is going through his whole opening monologue and talking about the year 1939 and 1940 and talking to Mahler, and he's in the middle of it, just very fluidly goes right into a super chat from RRTNZ and goes right back to what he was saying. It was a great Chuck Norris joke there too, and you can just tell he appreciates our friend. It was great, and to go to the drinkers member chat and have some of the people there talking about me was really cool too. So they can never say he doesn't know who I am. He's at least heard my name. He might not remember, but but you have heard of me. Be careful with that stuff. Go to work and tell the boss Admiral Teag said it was okay. They were fine with the slideshow. That was the music. Oh, the slideshow is fine. Yeah, well, your slideshow is fine. Static pictures are fine. If you had played the show within a moment or two, you would have been down. And then when you stopped, they would have let you go back live. But you would have been streaming to nobody. A lot of time, I was surprised you weren't cut off for the AC/DC song. I was waiting for the copyright claim notice. I was surprised. There was experienced YouTubers there, but you know what? It's your show, so I mean, it's not really for them to say what to do. This is too long. 30 seconds is too long. It's about 6 times too long. You got to the clips. Unfortunately, no. The clips. Here's the thing. For the moment. Now, I don't know if this counts for Doctor Who. I've noticed with Doctor Who, it seems to go longer, but I think the deal is Doctor Who is produced with taxpayer money and therefore owned by the people of England, and they can use longer clips. It's not the same as other fair use. But in our fair use, for YouTube, fair use is about 4 or 5 seconds. So what you could do is, like, you saw what I did with Han Solo's life. That's what you have to do. News is different. Look how much news you can show.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Yeah, I'm sorry, America. It's New York doesn't send their best anymore. You know what, Chuck? See how long that clip of Patton was? That's about half as long as you can go maximum. 5 or 6 seconds. You know what is the advisable length? 15 seconds you might get away with live. 30 sounds like playing with fire in a big way. And I'm not your YouTube terms of service lawyer. You got to go take a look at those. But, I'll give you some advice from a guy who's been, around the block a couple seconds. But the music, definitely stay away from that. Like, music, I'll give you an idea of how music works. You ready? Here is... I have a musical sting, right? I use it sometimes. It's from Star Trek. It's them. But it's so brief that I can't get in trouble for it. And let's see if I can find it. Here we go. What? So that thing is still out there. It's about how long you can go on music. Anything longer than that, you're in trouble. Sound effects, I don't know. The time transporter seems to be no problem. I can play this whole little soundbite, and it's about 8 or 9 seconds long, but it's out of context and therefore recontextualized. So I don't know what to tell you, man. It's always been a weird feel thing. Good afternoon. It's good to see you, my man. I was watching you on the X. I reposted you accidentally by 3 times. So I went and had to withdraw some of the reposts. But what happens is this, and I think it's the strongest kind of repost, and I did it as strongly as I could do. And I didn't use an auto pen to do this, by the way, 70s Rock Fan. And 70s Rock Fan is great. I recommend him. Check out his channel. It's great stuff. He's a great guy. I love him. Good stuff. 70s Rock Fan, what I did was I was listening to you on YouTube, and I gave you the strongest recommend that I could give you. I put you on, and I reposted the stream by posting it as an X post within my own stream, which is a little different than, say, retweeting you. The retweets do pile up, and I would admit that those probably do look good, but I think the strongest way to do it is to repost it within my own timeline, because then it starts accumulating its own stream of views that is hived off and separated from. I don't know. Like I'm free balling it here like everyone else in the world of social media. All I know, you know what? Just be careful and read the terms of service a little bit. There's a lot of people who make how-to guides. I don't know. You gotta be careful. 5 seconds for a video essay is as much as I'll do, and I've never hit it. 4.5 is the longest I gone. And everyone's saying hi to our friend, that 70s Rock Fan. Hello! You're welcome, man. We love that 70s Rock Fan. He's a great guy. He was a guest on the show. He was here on the program. It was a happy day. We were attacked by those pesky bots. Those bots that like to swarm Admiral Teag's channel. It happens from time to time. There's nothing you can do. It just sort of happens, but that's YouTube for you. And that 70s Rock Fan, as I hit it looks, you do not have a custom URL. Get on that. All right, unless I'm doing it wrong. But here's our pal, that 70s Rock Fan's YouTube page. He is a great YouTuber. Great conversation yesterday. I really enjoyed hearing him talking to my friend Joe's Atmosphere, who is a crazy New England Patriots fan. And you know what? Like, doesn't know the pain of being a New York Jet fan. As he sits there, and you, with your functional team, 70s, you with your functional teams, sitting there on your high horse, looking down at Admiral Teag. Well, I like the New York Yankees, so I got that going for me, although it's kind of turning into lean times for the Yankees. 17 years, getting to be a long time. In Yankee land, that's a hell of a drought. 17 years and only been to the dance once in that time. That is a disgrace. The Stars have a great Cup win against the great Martin Brodeur and the New Jersey Devils, so I can't spite them. The Minnesota North Stars relocate down to Texas. They have real slushy ice, and they're the only ones who have ice surface so slow that even the Devils can't compete by slowing the game down. They were just skating through slush, but it was still pretty good defensive ping pong. It was kind of hockey. That I can only wonder what the ice must be like down there. I understand that by the time they got to the point where they were doing the series with the Devils, they were dehumidifying the building to keep crappy ice from forming on top of the real ice. And isn't it weird how we have to do that? All these sports made to be played in the American Northeast. Sometimes we take them other places, weird stuff happens. Baseball, we got to keep baseballs in a humidor. At the Rock in Colorado because it's a Mile High Stadium and the balls don't behave correctly. They're not low enough. They're just, there's some cupping going on with the balls there, and that's what's going on. And boo! Let's see. I used to live 30 minutes from Gillette. Okay, before we moved to Florida. Okay, so the cool thing about that is you're within striking distance of one non-sold out NFL team that you can go see every other team play against if you don't like the pewter power of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't mind them that much. I don't like them, but you also so they'll play the Patriots once in a while. So the Miami Patriots tickets will go for a lot. You got to see better football than I ever will. My team has not won in my lifetime, and they are not any good. They are not looking to be good. They will not be better next year. And that's why I am sticking to the NFL is fixed. It's all a fraud. And the real games are played on Saturdays on the Bilderberg Group Network. Go Avs. The Avalanche also a couple of really great cup finals versus the New Jersey Devils. And they were a force when they were the Nordiques. But they moved, and they were the first team ever to have a singular name. They didn't have an S. They weren't like the Yankees or the Mets or the Cardinals or the Brewers or the Saints or the Steelers. Well, I mean, that's a lifestyle choice. Well, who do you like? I got to say, I can choose any one of the New York area hockey teams and be pretty proud of the Islanders. Really proud of the Devils. Love the name. I love that name. And then you got the Rangers who, they try. Hell, I was at the first outdoor winter classic in Dallas and it was fun. It was actually cold that day. One of the few cold days I've ever experienced in Dallas. That reminds me of another story. Did I ever tell you about the time I saw them playing a game outside in North Africa?
Carthaginians defending the city were attacked by 3 Roman legions. Arab women stripped them of their tunics and their swords and lances. The soldiers lay naked in the sun. 2,000 years ago, I was here. Well, this match will not be postponed.
Oh, I was there. You know what? Hell, I was at the Outdoor Winter Classic in Dallas, and it was fine. It was actually cold that day. One of the few cold days I've ever experienced in Dallas. I love it. You know what? That must have been a lot of fun. I wish I could have been at that too. In New York, it is just absolutely bitterly cold in January. You don't want to be outdoors. I wouldn't be able to handle it. Our brief winter is still intense enough. Who are these Avalanche you speak of? Are they in the playoffs? The Knicks won a playoff game. I would like to go to see the Avalanche play just to see what hockey's like that high up in the air and just to see if I'm always kind of high from the lack of oxygen. Bet you I would be. I've tried to restrain myself in the better man, but I've given up now. Go ahead. Have fun. It's only sports rivalries. Listen. Everybody who likes any major sport in America, it seems like right now everyone's expanded to 32. I think the NHL and the NBA might have like an ungainly like 34. One of them has like 36, something stupid like that. But there are the only reason your team ever won anything is because roughly 31 other major sports teams go out there and try to beat them every week. There was a competition to be had. If there was no other team, who the hell would your team play to beat, to win? So many people have this hatred towards the other team. And we've seen people, there was that tragic circumstance outside of, was it a Dodger Giant game where a Giants fan was so badly hurt? Or even if it doesn't matter which team it was, a fan was hurt by other fans in the rivalry between the Giants and the Dodgers. And that's the real shame. No one really remember which team did what. The other team's fans did something equally distasteful within a given amount of time, and it's uncalled for and unneeded in the world we live in today. But that's what happens, especially when we have people who take things out of context. Like, for instance, the idea that the sports team you root for makes you a good person. It absolutely it dictates a lot of your laundry if you're a guy, but it has nothing to do at all with whether or not you're a good person. It's a lot more of a problem for your wife who has to figure out how to wash that jersey from whatever team, or yourself if you're a bachelor or whatever. But you get my point. Like the rest of us, for the most part, like we'll get into it, but you have to be like some kind of special sicko to want to hurt somebody over the baseball team they like. And we're only able to play and win and cover ourselves in glory at the expense of our rivals, right? It's like it's not called like rising up to the challenge of everybody who agrees. You're rising up to the challenge of all rivals, as the song says. So, little eye of the tiger there, and being appreciative of there has to be other people to compete at all. And that the competition is probably, when you think about it, the sum total of it is almost everyone else just likes the competition. Unless you're a Yankee fan like me, then you like the most popular team and everyone else likes who you like and you're just okay. But, I mean, with all these other teams, I guess the Patriots to a degree, too. Like, everyone now, even I find myself, it's just like, the Patriots have so much greatness. There's a Yankee-like quality to them. When they were down in that Super Bowl, I was hoping they would win. And I'm no fan. And I don't like them. And I wasn't hoping the way other people hope. I was just hoping the way you hope you're right. I'm like, my niece was, like, I think, like 16, 17, and she's like, there's no way, it's over. And I'm like, you just never can count Tom Brady out. And everyone's like, Uncle Teag, you're crazy. And I was like, no, man, Tom Brady, you can't count him out. And you know what happened? I was in the car driving people home when they won the Super Bowl because no one believed me. But you know what? I was right about that. Never count Tom Brady out. He'll just cheat harder. Okay. The Avs lost to the Dallas Girly Boys in the playoffs the other day. So that's what brought that rivalry up. So that's a regional rivalry now. You know what? You got to be glad for your regional rivalries, man. With hockey, it's really intense. What's funny is it doesn't bleed over to the players, right? It's like you'll see the guy who's captain of the team. Your team's captain. And he'll get traded. He'll get traded to your most bitter rivalry for their captain. Because when you trade your captain, you always trade him for another captain almost every single time. And if you don't trade your captain when you trade for somebody who was a captain, unless it's clear right away that they don't want to be a captain, that they'll take the A or they'll, really represent it at all. It's always that the one captain is doomed to be traded. And usually it's the guy who's there when it starts, right? Because obviously you don't trade for another captain. It's like implied to be like, your leadership wasn't sufficient. And that could even come down to like, we don't feel the referees respected him enough, because that's part of it is like, it helps to be Wayne Gretzky when you're negotiating those penalties, right? Everyone knew you were the greatest player ever, like from a young age. And I remember when they were talking about how Wayne Gretzky was going to force unification of the WHL into the NHL, and people were saying that would never happen. Well, it did. And I was at the New Jersey Devils Mickey Mouse game, which was huge. And that had the great Wayne Gretzky. And I've met the great one, and this should make everyone feel good. You ready? I'm not that big. I'm only like 5'10". I was so much taller than the great one. The great one goes like 5'8". He might be 5'7". The great one, little guy. His hands smaller than mine. Only the greatest hockey player to ever play the game. So everyone should feel good about that one. Like, it's like the Chuck Knobloch thing. Although, Chuck Knobloch, not the greatest player in the sport the way Wayne Gretzky was. To the point where two leagues unite just because one league will not be viable without him. Only the league with Wayne Gretzky was going to survive. But let's see. Crimlon is laughing. Girly boys for the win. Oh, we got the rivalry heating up. It made it fun to watch that Brahma Bowl stream. Hey, right? I would imagine that got pretty heated. And guys, it looks like we're doing a little refresh on the audience. If you're here, welcome. Hit those like and follow buttons. Vote in our poll. And tweet out off the browser or at all that Admiral Teag is live. And if you leave your browser open, that helps. The weekday shows are a thing of necessity that we do for you. It's great. I get to come on solo, especially on Tuesdays, where I get to mostly just hang out with the chat and talk about the points of pop culture that are going on right now. And some of them more interesting than others, to be sure. But one thing that we do know is we have the best show on right now. So let's let people know about it. Leave those browsers open and help out your buddy, Admiral Teag. Give me the strongest endorsement you can because I have to fight the pack lads here on the final frontier. And God knows when your channel stands for something, you get attacked by everyone because those who fall for everything and stand for nothing cannot stand to share the same forum with someone who will stand up for you, with someone who will fight for you, and with the movie reviews and with every pop culture video that we make. And I'm trying out Vegas. I'm trying it out, Fat. We'll see how it works, but Da Vinci rather. I'm trying Da Vinci. We'll try it. I kind of liked Vegas better. I learned how to use it better. I was really comfortable in it, but we'll see. We'll see. I liked Vegas. I part of me wants to buy it, but it was unwieldy and it did sort of suck. Walking rambles. Call it the walking rambles. It's a bad disease. Yeah, you know what? That you have the walking rambles sometimes if you listen to baseball or hockey on like your earbuds. It's like I will be on the train going home and everyone will be heading to Citi Field in New York. It's like a late crowd. And like everyone's like, it's the first inning already, but people are like a stop or two away from the stadium. And like, you'll be on the train and they'll all be like, oh, because they're all listening to it on their earbuds on the subway. It's hilarious. What can you do? You know what? We had the Last of Us thing. That was a BFD. People are sort of weirded out by that happening. Let's talk about the other thing going on out there. Star Wars tanking, Star Trek tanking. It seems to be an occupational hazard, and the MCU tanking. It seems to be an occupational hazard for channels that are too far married into it, that you start tanking out when you do only the content that they've been doing for so long. Marvel, Star Trek, Star Wars, the same story repeatedly over and over again. It's the same story every time. A lot of female empowerment. The Last of Us seemed to be going in a different direction. It had a fatherly side to it, but that's apparently like that's gone, and like they decided to kill the past. And I don't think that golf club stuff is from the game, right? That was their own twist on it. So that didn't look all that great, and that was a problem. But let's see. Brady was destined. Back in his last years, the Steelers, Terry Bradshaw put his 4 Super Bowl rings. Needed surgery, keep playing. He entered the hospital under the assumed name Tom Brady. Wow, that is so weird. That is so weird. Hey, man, sometimes things are destined. I'm glad that he's retired so that someone else has a chance to win. He won 6 fucking Super Bowls, 7 Super Bowls in 20 years in the league. Lost 5 more. The guy was incredible. He really is just the greatest, and if not the greatest of all time, he's really good at cheating. What can I tell you? Now, again, help me out the likes, taking the poll, very important. And let's see if people are preserving anything about the goodwill that they once had for this thing that just keeps going on, another zombie franchise. Are you looking forward to Fantastic Four? Yeah, it's going to be great, 22%, so there's optimism. No, MCU is done. 50% of 18 people, so 9 people, taking a wait-and-see attitude is 28%. So 78%, that is enough for this movie to succeed. Everyone is staked in on Fantastic Four. No one did the like stream, see results. People had something to say about this one. Successful poll, a lot of votes, everybody very vested in getting their opinion in there. You guys are very opinionated today. I'm happy to see that. And, you keep those red hot opinions coming. And if you haven't already, consider joining my channel as a member. It would be great to have you on board. It supports me and it helps me to create more. And by support, what do I mean? Yeah, you guys have helped keep the cell phone on a couple of times. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I try to make sure to make you guys a video upload every month just for members. Last month's was a little bit briefer than most, but we try to keep them to the point. Like 5 minutes is about as long as you want to engage based on the percentage of people with memberships who watch them. And I try to make sure that I make them just for you. I am always happy to have you guys along for the ride, and always happy to have you guys here for a bit of fun. And you know what? What could be more a bit of fun than talking about what the hell's going on with this Avengers name change? Does anyone think it's going to change their destiny? This Avengers name change for Thunderbolts to the new Avengers, it's still Thunderbolts. Changing the name is so dumb. Like I said earlier, it's like we have the mid-credit scene, then we have the after-credit scene, now we have the after-movie scene. What next? They come to your house and deliver some popcorn like a month later? Honestly, what next? And Mark Harkness, I ask you, what more can they do to make us be less engaged from their product? It is certainly not going very well or very interestingly over at the MCU, where we have seen them just sort of lost. And with Deadpool and Wolverine as your new accepted good, that was not the greatest movie in the first place. The idea that that is now the definition of a good movie, that's a tough one, man. That is a really tough one. It's not really a great movie. And we're starting to catch up with those pack leads. If you guys, like I said, could tweet out, and if everyone who's watching could just 14 is great. We want to get to 30. And a few more people watching with their browser open would help. I know there's a couple more of you out there passively. If you could help me out, I really do need those concurrents right now. This is the only time we can count on not getting bot streamed. Be honest and change the name again and be truthful. The non-Avengers. Now, opinions run high on this. I was talking to Eclectic Goat. Eclectic Goat is cool. Eclectic Goat has a good channel. Eclectic Goat is a good X-follow. But Eclectic Goat and I disagree about the Thunderbolts. And they seemed a little pissed. But we fundamentally disagreed because I said, the bad guy won. And she said, no, the bad guy was reformed. But I said, my feeling was that the Sentry is too much of a victim to be considered the bad guy in all of this, so that we actually have to take it a step further and say that the Sentry is a victim being manipulated by the true bad guy. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the man behind the man. Everyone hated her performance. Everyone found it insufferable. Here's the thing. I'm going to give her credit. This is what they wanted from her. She has been doing this character since Christmas Vacation in 1989. This has been what Julia Louis-Dreyfus provides. And the thing is, they actually rewound it and dialed it back and took out a lot of what she was able to do and went for a one-note version of the, like saccharine, crazy, high bitch. And she was a bitch. It was really hard to take that character. And she had so many crazy monologues, and she talked to everybody like a primary school teacher. And it was just too much, right? I mean, nobody really enjoyed her performance in this. And so that was just a big loss and an impediment on this movie right there. And she gets away with it. They simply lacked the courage to put the bag on her in front of everybody and the press. They could have ended it right there. She's doing all sorts of unobjectionably evil things. Outright evil. It's not subjective. Doing things to people against their will is evil on a mass scale. Trying to develop augments in the Star Trek style is immoral. Okay, so everything they did was bad. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus does all these terrible things. At the end of the movie, our heroes are working for her. They're working for her. So how does she lose? So she took the hero to be the villain to be Shadow. The villain is Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Val. Not the Shadow, I'm sorry. To be Sentry. aka the Void. And it's not well explained in the movie, and a comic book fan has to explain to you what happens. And they say, oh, no one actually nearly died. No one actually dies. You know what? You have to be killed to be unkilled. He wills them back from wherever he sends them. They didn't go to some lollipop zone. That was so dumb. That's the new normal. It was as bad as one of their TV shows. In fact, it's the exact same thing as Loki, where when you die, you just go to another dimension where you live your life as yourself there. It was so bad. I don't get why Loki had to be that bad, and I don't get why they stole from that terrible show, but I guess that in living memory MCU is a good show. That's why they have that problem. They should just just stay the Thunderbolts. And they was called the Thunderbolts because of Red Hulk Thunderbolt Ross. The original Thunderbolt Ross is in this movie, which makes it even more confusing. I don't know why it was done so much before the Cap movie, except the Cap movie was such a mess. Bucky Barnes, this is like the worst performance of Sebastian Stan's entire career. He's just present in this movie and just so invested. He says everything like just more than deadpan. He doesn't seem to care, and he's just like not really doing what we would call one of his best performances. Certainly not a memorable performance, but Sebastian Stan, he's there. I guess you could say that. It didn't make for a very good movie. And this theme of depression, I had to be told about it later from outside material. You could not tell it was about depression from watching the movie. You just couldn't. It didn't really hold up that it was about depression watching the movie. At any rate, we've got another story for you today. Aside from The Last of Us, we have, looking at my notes, please give me one moment. HBO's aggressive move on The Drinker is the thing I'm really most concerned about, because it concerns me here. As I get ready to make more videos, and as other people make videos, now Doomcock's in the clear with this one, because his videos are in a different style. But if you make your video of the movie, I think even Mahler had said this, like, what if they do a percentage of the movie kind of way of doing it? This way, if you go like 3 hours and use like most of the movie, but stay copyright compliant doing it, and it's been significantly transformed, and the point of the movie is that it's a reverse commercial against the movie. Well, I mean, of course, it's going to do a different kind of business than the movie itself would, and I don't think they should be able to take that copyright money away. But that seems to be what it's all revolving around right now, and it seems to be more or less a freak show along those lines. So anyway, I don't think that Drinker is going to be down for more than a couple more days. I think that he can restore himself, and I think that his stream will be restored, and it will probably be one of the more successful and watched streams of his career because of how weird it went and because of what people did to him. And I think that it will probably change the amount of reach that corporations are allowed to have onto YouTube, either by establishing that this is going to be what they do, or by really sort of taking it away and making it a non-issue. Because really, we're all taking a shot in the dark with every video essay until we get more terms. We saw it with the conversation I had here with Jedi Master 2022. She lost because they refused to let Bucky be the character he should be. The guy who says, Steve wouldn't stand for this and I won't either. Yeah, and then also, how about U.S. Agent? Someone says to him, you are just a cheap knockoff Captain America. Where's his response? I'd rather be a knockoff Captain America who stands for something good, trying to do something right, than a full-on assassin Black Widow like you bitch. You know, he could have stood up for himself a little more too, but he didn't. It was kind of pathetic how badly he did for himself. And John Walker just gets owned through that whole movie. And I agree with those who say that they consistently end up accidentally amusing us with the John Walker stuff. He ends up being good by mistake. I like John Walker. I like what he brings to the movies. And the thing is, if they ever tried to do it on purpose, they would destroy him, because he would have to have a redemption arc from things that he didn't seem to really do that bad. You know, I don't know if it's wrong to look at your phone while your kid's asleep. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, using social media around your children is their definition of that's it. He's a bad parent. they really did. They what should have happened was Bucky should have been working for that other congressman rather than being a politician man himself. It didn't work, and it wasn't amusing. Politician man Bucky, meant to look like he's not good at being a politician man, because that's the only way for him to seem like an honest politician man, was not a good or enjoyable Bucky. It wasn't a good or enjoyable Bucky. He did a bad job as himself, as the politician. Where he could have gone with it, I don't know. He has the tradition of wanting to serve, so it made sense that he would care about that stuff, but I don't know. I'm no Steve Rogers, and you sure as hell aren't Romanoff. He could have said that. Yeah, there was no meaningful exchanges with U.S. Agent. He just took it, and it didn't matter who it was from. It could have been from Ghost. It could have been from the new Black Widow, Florence Pugh. And again, if Florence Pugh is pretty, she's yet to show me, and so is Disney. She had a look at that Marvel Avengers name reveal. I mean, dowdy. Maternal? Was she pregnant? What was with that dress? It sucked. Her dress was terrible. And what do you call it? Taskmaster's there, and she looked great. And meanwhile, she's like barely in that movie. I hope she got a full paycheck for that. And if you guys, like I said, could tweet out off the browser that I'm live, and if everyone watching could open up and watch on a browser that's live, that's how YouTube chooses to credit this show. We got some stiff competition against some pretty rotten guys here who are willing to come in and be kind of underhanded. So let's talk about a couple of things. Taking things out of context. I have been bombarded with accusations that I mocked someone's spouse. No. If you never work, you're a bad, it sucks to be married to you. There's nothing wrong with saying that. That's just an observation that's going to happen in the real world. I feel bad for your wife is something you say to somebody when you actually wonder how they manage to stay married because they have such poor work habits. And I do not lead with my career. I do not lead with my work habits. I am not public about my work. I do not crowdfund off my work. I don't do anything. My doing this is the only thing that I trade on. So, if you're out there presenting yourself as one thing and it doesn't add up, and you're out there selling yourself as a man of God, and you have a tweet stream that's hateful for one tweet after another, and then you're like, hey, check out my Sunday sermon, I will capture that and show it off to show that you're a hypocrite. But then to screenshot that you're going to keep on breaking the law when it's clear that you're doing it and all the other things, it's really, I don't think it should be rewarded. And I feel bad for that person that they're so caught up in this competition. But certainly to question whether someone is a worthy spouse is worthy to their spouse as far as putting in their best effort, that is not about your spouse, my man. That is about you. That is about you. I'm wondering if you're holding up your end, okay? And you can talk like Bullwinkle all you want, but it's not going to make a difference. I'm being serious. You know what? I feel bad for anyone who has to be married to someone who can't hold down a job and is always complaining on the internet about employment. There's things that you put out there, my dude. You put them out there. I just said I felt bad for anyone who has to be married to that. And that's not attacking your spouse. I don't care to say I did not go after anybody. To call someone a hypocrite is not to go after God. To say that to attack your interpretation of religion is going after God is in fact hubristic and one of the deadly sins. So let's just calm down with that and stop taking things out of context. Reading through my ex looking for grievances is absolutely reprehensible and one of the most just bottom feeder things you can do for your career as a YouTuber. It's boring. It's boring, and you know what? Who is it publicity for? It's only publicity for me, and it's the guy that you say you hate. I don't understand why you would want to do that, but be that as it may, I'm glad to have all of you here, and let's take a look. We have, at this point on our poll, you guys have voted 18 times. We got 22% say that there's a chance for Fantastic Four, 50% outright still saying the MCU is done. 28%, though, a healthy amount taking a wait and see. If we combine the wait and sees with the it's going to be great. We have 52%. It arguably could be all right. It's hard to say, but it arguably could be all right. It's doing better than you would think it would do. So let's see. I know it made more in its first weekend, hitting about 160, 170 million than Snow White's made, period. Right? Or was it 70 million? So it made. Let's take a look at the Thunderbolts box office. I'm interested. That movie was a lot of people really hated it, and the idea that there are people passionately defending it, I don't get how you can be passionate about this. Okay, let's see. The box office for Thunderbolts, it's 76 million. Okay. And this is, well, let's take a look. AP says, out of Marvel, Marvel Studios New York says it opened at 76 million in domestic ticket sales. There you go. So it's just ahead of the Eternals, similar, right? Tied right on the money with Ant-Man and the Wasp, 75 million. And suggested the Marvel malaise won't be so easy to snap out of. Yeah, I agree with that. Some had expected a much bigger opening. I don't think so. This name change thing, will it possibly save week 2? I don't know. I don't know. But here's our cast. I can show them to you. I don't know if I'll be able to say who is who, but let's take a look at our cast. Here we go. From left to right, there's what is it, Wyatt Russell? He is U.S. agent. He's fine. I like him in this. Then next to him we have Crimson Guardian. He's a joke. I don't get what he is. That is the like his character. It's not as bad as he was in Black Widow. In Black Widow, he was really bad. In this one, he has some redemptive traits. Here, for the first time, Florence Pugh looking somewhat pretty, although wearing black behind people wearing dark colors. Can't truly and totally tell. And she does have nice legs. That is the most flattering outfit we've seen. There is some Black Widowness to it. And we can see she has some kind of figure for the first time in her career with Marvel and Disney. Then next to her, we got Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Okay, we know who that is. Next to her, now, I think that's Task Manager. No, that's Ghost in the white, and then that's Task Manager in the dress next to her. Why Task Manager's there, I don't know. I hope she got a full paycheck for this. Everyone has been saying stuff like that. At least the men knew how to dress here, including Lewis Pullman, who looks sort of surprised and slightly stoned, and like his dad, a lot like his dad. Strong resemblance to Bill Pullman there. But he looks like he needed to smoke a joint to get his self together to deal with this nonsense. And certainly is dressed about as appropriately as anyone else. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, looking nice for her age. But wow, whoever that is, I think, let's see, Florence Pugh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Hannah John Kamen is almost, just like, she's just showing up. But I am enjoying the trip to your very beautiful valley. Valley Girl. Let's see, Geraldine Viswanathan and Lewis Pullman posed for photographers at the photo call for their film Thunderbolts on Thursday, April 25th, 2025 in London. All right, so this is the first premiere. Oh, they must have been really on the edge of their seats. Oh boy, we better keep quiet about the idea. We can't let anyone know that we're the new Avengers, right? And hey, look, Sean Carter's here. Greetings to you, Sean. Welcome to the afternoon show where we stream. We stream for vengeance, and the chat is so glad to see you. It is cold. It is miserable. It is raining in New York City, where for once I don't need the AC to get through the show. I don't have to ask you to forgive the background noise, although, you know what? It is getting a little stuffy. Ambient heat, it radiates up when you live in a city. It can be a real frickin' drag, let me tell you. But, here they are in England. That's your cast. Let me give you the biggest picture I can for the moment, so you can see. Right there, Ghost, I think that is looking pretty darn good, because I'm fairly sure that is Task Manager next to Lewis Pullman. Julia Louis-Dreyfus looks great for her age, but Julia Louis-Dreyfus must be 60. She must be 60. Let's find out. I'm going to Google that right now. Julia Louis-Dreyfus age. 64 years old. Yeah, she looks great for 64. She's extremely well preserved. And hey, Sean Carter, thank you, my man. Can we get a Crimlon? Crimlon! There was a bunch of them earlier, but I'll do it again. Crimlon! Crimlon! I tell you, Crimlon, we have a show for you today, and they're out to get me, Crimlon. Crimlon! Crimlon! Okay, so there you go. I love all you guys, and it's so great to see you here. We're building up. You know what? I have no panel. I'm like Ozzy when I go on Tuesdays. It's almost always just me. Thursdays, we have some of the livestock marshals with us, and it's always a late show. And then on Friday, like, we get Wes Kegel a lot. It's fun. But Tuesdays, you get Solo Admiral. Oh! And I'm on all over the times to be all over the globe. And that's the kind of life we chose for us, right? That's the kind of Crimlon, Crimlon, Crimlon. Crimlon, they're out to get me, Crimlon. These bastards, they're out to get me, Crimlon. You know what? I think, honestly, are we ready to wonder how long freedom of speech is in a video essay? I don't want the criminal drinker. It's the criminals. I don't want the critical drinker criminalized. I don't want him made to suffer unjustly. At the same time, though, after this gets sorted out, and because it happened to him, it will. I believe that there might be a clearer set of rules for us to operate under in the future. I'm not saying that I'm glad that this happened. What I'm saying is there'll be, and it won't be due process, right? It's their arbitrary version of process, but there will be some kind of process where we can kind of try to get this under control and see if we can't, Crimlon, like, see if we can't find out a standard format for the video essays, right? Whoa, that doesn't work. A format for the video essays where they, I want to get, this is just, Sydney, I'm trying my best for you, baby. I'm trying my best. I'm doing everything I can. You know what, guys? When I move around like this, it's like, I call it pacing. I'm pacing around my office. Here we go. And you know what? I feel like I need to be bigger. I don't like being this small. And they came to me and they said, Admiral, sir, your avatar is too small. It needs to be no less than 1,200 pixels, sir. 1,200 pixels, sir. 1,200 pixels high. Sir. Okay. Hail, Sean Carter. And everybody, it's great to have you all here. You know what? There's your cast. I mean, they all look better than they do in the show, except, and this is the weirdest thing, it seems to apply to New Trek, Star Trek, all MCU, and Star Wars. You're not allowed to work the sexy until you're like fucking 50. Ming-Na Wen is 58, so she was already 50 when she was doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, and ain't nothing wrong with being over 50, all right? But, like, here's the thing. Like, that should not be the minimum age for a woman to be allowed to be sexy. We ugly up everyone on Star Wars Strange New Worlds except Rebecca Romijn. She is the person that you're allowed to be objectifying on. I guess because you objectified on her before, and now they're going to pay us back for it because she's real old. Not that she looks bad for her age or even looks bad at all, but it's unfair. Like, someone like Christina Chiang is kind of good looking, and she's not allowed to be as good looking or better looking than Rebecca Romijn. The one episode she was in that they didn't have Rebecca Romijn in, and where Connie was allowed to be pretty, she looked great. But then when Kirk kissed her, he had to die like within 2 minutes of doing it, because even though she wanted it and longingly looked him in the eye, and when he came in for it, she opened her mouth. She did not say, "Come here and kiss me." So he didn't ask. So, words are violence and lack of words are violence to these people. And it's not true, but it's a subjective rule that they're trying to make us all live by. And unless we fight back, and Sean Carter has fought back, as has my good friend and sometimes co-panelist, our good friend RRTNZ has also fought back against the system with a great Chuck Norris joke. Chuck Norris versus 100 gorillas. And you know what? How would the 100 gorillas versus The 100 men versus one gorilla. Go. 100 gorillas versus one man. The one man has a chance because the gorillas might fight each other while the man runs away. You might have 100% survival with 100 gorillas versus one man. 100 men versus one gorilla. 25 guys survive. I mean, wow. How are you going to mess that gorilla up? I mean, you'd be like, some of us are going to shove our like hands into the gorilla's nose, and like whatever happens, happens. He'll tear our bodies off, but our arms will still be in his nose. It's crazy. Yes, Mr. House Party 6, thank you for thanking Sean on behalf of me. It's always great when people with the wrench kick in and do some wrenching ability. I don't expect it from everybody, but you know what? A couple of you really helping out always helps. I heart your chat, and 4 likes is not enough. Or no, how did I? Wait, why? 3 guys, go there, get Sean as many likes. It's going back and forth. I don't understand. No, don't do it. That's so confusing. 6, yes, it deserves to have 6 likes. Okay, there we go. It was all over the place. Here's Dave C. Hail, everyone. Hail, Dave C. Dave C. I hope we won't be breaking any more news this year. Hopefully everything just goes according to plan. The best laid plans of mice and men. When called out to do their comic book, I will say this: the people who had the late comic book admitted their comic book was late and said they were going to try to do it. They gave a new date, so you know what? At least they didn't dispute what was said. I would like to see the comic book completed. Ideally, I think we all would. And I also think that 6 likes is just not. Why is it back down to 2, 1? I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm gonna hit the reload on this and see how many likes that chat had. 8 likes. Okay. I'm not touching it anymore. Every time I try to like it, the like on the super chat just shoots up and down. We have 17 likes. I need 13 more. If you're coming through later, please hit the like and follow buttons. And hit especially those likes to help polarize my haul. I want to, if I can't be the biggest show on right now, I want to have the most views at the end of the day. And I want to have the most likes. The most beloved show works for me too. You can stock your panel with people and make a hue and cry for a while. Well, you know what? That's easy to do when your show is always announced and you can publicize it. And when you have to protect your product by only going on when your attackers can't attack you, well, you know what? It's going to affect your overall number. And that your attackers can only just pipe down. You know, all that would need to change for this to stop having to happen would be people to stop saying things that I need to counterattack. I'm not sick of counterpunching. I'll do it for the rest of my life, but you know what? Like, if you're going to take statements out of context and take shots at me, I'm going to respond. But if you just drop it, and I've said this, I posted it on my X for over a year. I'm saying it again now. You know, you can just shut up and move on. You know, there's enough people hanging out here. You got your people, I got mine. You play your games, I play mine. You don't know your time slot. You want me to come on later? You want me to come on at night? Then there's other conflicts, right? There's conflicts with other shows that come on Tuesday evenings. You don't own Tuesday. You can't block out 6 hours of the day and say it belongs to you. When Tony goes on and on for 6 hours, I just come on and do my fucking show. You're going to have to live with it, okay? I'm going to be around. I can't announce my show. I can't put it on until the last minute because of the way the botting works. House Party 6 has decloaked to say hello again, and we have a fantastic amount of people here. I want to beat the hell out of the other people. I want to blow that Pac-Lead freighter out of the sky, and right now we're above half. I think we can get there. Let the world know Admiral Teag is live, delivering your pop culture information. To which I say, God, the Thunderbolts, they stink. There we go. They stink. Sydney, don't you think so? Oh, boy, wow. The view down there is great. Sydney, Kremlin! Sydney, these people have put out one of the worst movies, and they easily could have made it better by having you in it. But no, they let you languish away. And I saw one of the people I had the first ever argument about Sydney Sweeney with was Joe's Atmosphere. I saw him the other day hanging out with some friends. He's a great guy. We blew past that like adults do. And like Joe's Atmosphere was, on this channel a bunch of times. We had an actual difference of opinion. But you know what? Because he was gentlemanly and I was gentlemanly, we're still cordial and we worked it all out. Because, you can share time of day. You can share, an audience, and you can share a passion for pop culture. But the one thing that you're not going to share is my talent. I am here as a free agent. You know what? Ozzy sometimes goes on alone. Ozzy sometimes has Black Sabbath. I love when my friends are with me and it's Black Sabbath. But when I have to be Ozzy, well, I'm going to be the best Ozzy I could be. And who wouldn't go to that final Black Sabbath show in England? Is it July 7th? Is it something weird like that? Some cryptic number like sevens that are in there? But I, for one, will be watching that pay-per-view event probably live. It's probably going to be ridiculously expensive, too. I think it'll be a great concert. I don't know if it'll be anything more than a festival show, though. Ozzy doesn't seem to be taking the most active role in it. And Ozzy seems to be giving indications that he himself isn't too sure how much Ozzying, if that's a thing, how much Lord of Darknessing he can really do. Ozzy's been sort of messed up for kind of a long time. It's sad, but he says he's performing 5 songs. Now, one of them, I heard that he didn't object to someone wanting to do No More Tears. Is it Sammy Hagar? Not everyone at this Black Sabbath festival is someone that I really wanted to see, but I guess the deal is he's friends with Sammy because Sammy was friends with Eddie Van Halen, who's close friends with Ozzy and the Sabbath guys. And on one of the first Van Halen tours, the first album, the Van Halen tour is longer than, a year. It goes on longer. And what happens is first they open up for Kiss, and then they open up for Black Sabbath, or maybe it's the other way around. And they develop into their own great band. We all know that Van Halen, one of the great metal bands of all time and one of the great guitar bands of all time. Some would say the greatest, right? And so with that, the Black Sabbath guys were not, on bad terms at all with Eddie Van Halen. And it's weird, in our Black Sabbath discussion, where there will be a part 2 soon enough, because I just loved having that Black Sabbath wallpaper up. And with a little more research, I played a lot of music live and got away with it, and I only got copyright trouble from one song. If I had done some research, I could have had all music and no problems and stayed perpetually, basically put Viagra on my screen, on my stream, and kept it up there. Hello, Dave. Hello, Sean. Hello, Sean. Hello, Dave. Hello, Mr. House Party 6. Everyone's greeting each other. It's great. It's great to have you here. This Avengers bait and switch with the name. I mean, good luck. Am I right? Good luck. It was Thunderbolts before. It's Thunderbolts now. It wasn't Thunderbolts before. It might make it Thunderbolts now, because now, for lack of anything better to call them, because remember, these Thunderbolts, when they sent us their Thunderbolts, they didn't exactly send us their best, did they? And when they gave us their new Avengers, they gave us their Thunderbolts, which already weren't their best. These retreads, losers, and second stringers aren't supposed to do anything. This movie, for them, their movie where they actually do Avengerish shit, they should be like the replacements. Like, maybe Keanu can be the bad guy in that. Maybe they just fight John Wick. Because really, at this point, the MCU might need crossovers. It might need to be MCU versus Star Trek. It might need to be MCU versus Fast and the Furious, because it's not really exciting or appealing right now the way it's going down alone, is it? And Star Trek isn't really making it. I know that they had talked about mixing Star Trek with either Fast and the Furious or Jurassic Park. It was in the mix of franchises that could be mixed together. Obviously, either one of those is a hard mix. You got to time travel the Star Trek people, and I don't know. I guess it had to do with the relative weakness of the franchise. And I would also speculate how deeply ensconced the bad robot people were. I have always thought that Fast and Furious working in Jurassic Park is almost a natural. And I'm surprised it didn't happen. But Star Trek, I don't know if you could get Star Trek there. The Fast and Furious have been to space anyway, haven't they? They have, right? I think we saw them in space. So Fast and the Furious with Star Trek for control of Jurassic World, I think I would just rather watch Spice World. Spice World, no longer the worst sci-fi movie, no longer the worst strong female movie. At least some of the Spice Girls are attractive, and all of them try to be sexy, which is a nice break from what you get with the MCU. I did not enjoy Thunderbolts. I don't know why people are passionate about it. I can understand having a different take from me, but I do not understand people who are passionate about Thunderbolts. It doesn't seem like it's an evocative topic for passion for me. There's a story there, but it's mid and confused. There are superheroes there, but they're mid and confused. They're confused. They're different from their comic book form, like massively different, and they're mid. They were low-selling comic book titles. They weren't very popular as Avengers. Sorry, guys. Just need to suck down a little more cherry Coke. Like George Lucas. When I create, I like some cherry Coke. Forgive the extraneous mic noise. Jedi Master 2022 still here hanging in. It's good to see you. Jedi Master 2022 did Lost in Space stream last night, and I was just giving him some of the ins and outs of editing and how weird that can be. A lot of people, they're just pure live streamers. They don't edit at all. Then you have people like me who started out as live streamers and moved over to editing, and then you have Clownfish who only upload and rarely live stream. I have caught a couple of Clownfish live streams, but they're the exception, not the rule. And really, I give them credit. They say, now listen, you got to give them the credit for believing what they say. This is their reason. They said that so that they don't have to network with other YouTubers, they would rather only upload and not go live. And this way, no one can really mess with them or their product. I understand this feeling, but the referendum on live streamers, wow. Yeah, I don't want them to be right, but there's a lot of wisdom in what they say. You have to really know people before you trust them. Would that I could have a do-over on people I trusted. But I would say this, in the long run, you grow a thick skin and you get ready to go out there and give as good as you get, because if people are going to come after you, you got to give it right back. Unfortunately, this is the world we made for ourselves. You don't need to have the response on the tip of your tongue, but sometimes you do have to respond, and sometimes you have to respond forcefully. You know, you don't send just one Tomahawk missile. You send 80, all right? You flatten the whole area. But you know what? I don't think they're going to be able to change our perceptions of this Thunderbolts movie. And again, why is Julia Louis-Dreyfus arguably look, figure, and face? She looks the youngest and the freshest, and seems to have less plastic surgery than Ghost, although Ghost looks fairly natural in that non-uncanny valley. If it's a Silicon Valley, I want to visit it anyway. Frances Pugh, I guess she's pretty natural. I can't tell, again, it's not that she's not dressed in a flattering manner. She's striking a flattering pose. She does seem to have a nice legs and a nice lower body. I don't know. I guess that face is her thing. I don't know. She does have a good face. She kind of looks a little more worthy to be following up ScarJo here, but definitely not as attractive in this picture as the chick who plays Ghost, who's looking great. I don't know. The Thunderbolts, just not the most interesting story out there. And let's see. It should be, the kind of response should power the movie with strong business in the coming weeks. Though bigger MCU films, including Deadpool vs. Wolverine, with a $211 million opening on its way to $1.34 billion worldwide. All right. So that's going to be out of hand. But like 300 million is going to happen probably, right? Because you got 70 already. It'll probably get to 200 million in 2 or 3 weeks. And then with everything, with a little creative accounting, they're going to try to claim probably a lot more. But the real number will be like 280 to 320 million taken in, which is starting to flirt with profitability because they cut like $60 million of expense out of this. Mostly with an undesirable cast. I mean, Sebastian Stan and Lewis Pullman are the recognizables and the stars of this fucking movie. It's a piece of crap. And they didn't cross-contaminate with Captain America. In fact, they took a joke at it. They took a crack at it at the end in one of the cutscenes. One of the other cutscenes, and this is the other thing, Trump has announced a 100% Hollywood tariff. I am wondering what you guys think of that. You know what? Let's take a final look at this poll. We got about 20 minutes left in our show. Okay, let's see. Are you looking forward to Fantastic Four? There's 21 votes. It's scientifically accurate. Yeah, it's going to be great. 19%. So 1 in 5. No, MCU is done, 50%. Taking a wait-and-see attitude, 29%. So now that's down to 48% would be willing to check it out. No one was willing to like the stream or or see the results, although I know all you wonderful people did. Although, if we could get more likes, that's always more likes. It seems that right now we have 17. So a few more people have taken the poll than liked the stream. Could you give me a like? It would be helpful. It would be helpful. But let's take this poll. You have a few more minutes to vote in it. Let's leave it up there. I'm wondering if The Last of Us can make it on its own and go any further. I just don't think so. Google co-founder Andrew Ang recommends you read these 5 books and turn your life around. Okay. I don't think I want to know. Thunderbolts could gather steam more steadily, or it could go down as another example of Marvel to rekindle its golden torch. Look for the latter. Marvel spent about $180 million to produce the movie. Okay, yeah, like I said, they cut about $60 million out, which added $86.1 million in overseas sales. The film also teases the next MCU chapter, Fantastic Four First Steps. Yeah, with the scenes shot on the set of Fantastic Four Doomsday, very obviously, shot in Avengers Doomsday, very obviously in the style of the Russo brothers, that shaky hand cam shit they did. Why their perception of their own TV would be shaky while they're looking at it was beyond me, but we saw some shakiness to it. I don't know. But it does look like it has a chance maybe to be okay, this movie, but it's not the most promising film out there. So if you're coming through later, help me get to 30 likes. It's very important that the stream achieve that. It's the way that we achieve relevance, and that's the way we fight off Task Manager, who bots us. And you know what? The idea that I'm hearing about Ryan Reynolds being the one to write an X-Men movie, all I can say is there are less competent people. He knows he knows Deadpool, and he showed he kind of knows Wolverine, but that would be, again, overcorrecting. The Russo brothers seem to be better at it. Not an Avengers movie, because the Avengers is supposed to be the tentpole of all tentpoles from which other characters spring off of. But maybe letting him write like the Deadpool and Wolverine movies and Deadpool movies, that seems fine. He made it better than that was like a 3-year high with Deadpool and Wolverine. It wasn't great, but it was like a 3-year high. It's got rewatchability, it has humor, and it's somewhat able to be digested by people. It wasn't really simple, but it was simple. I thought it was really simple, but then they kind of topped me with this movie. Thunderbolts is a really simple story. And my God, how many Walking Dead spin-offs are there now? Walking Dead, Dead City, New Rules, New Enemies, New York. This is older, but there's still more spin-offs. Marvel set the bar so high for so many years that a $76 million opening may seem to some like it should have done $100 million or something like that, said Paul DeGarbedian, senior media analysis for ComScore. This is a great reset. They're hitting the reset with Thunderbolts. Wait, I have heard that in every movie this year, though. We heard that Cab 4 was a reset. Deadpool and Wolverine was a reset. How many resets are we going to have? How many resets can we possibly have? And ooh, look at this, a deal of the month. Vegas Pros 365 is down to a 1-year subscription is $72 and the purchase is $179. That's the same damn price as yesterday. That's not a sale. Screw you. By the way, it's funny that they mentioned it today on the real BBC, but I just got done watching a bunch of a show called Red Dwarf. I can't recommend it enough. Red Dwarf is the British comedy show you need to see now. It is, aside from Toast of London, maybe the funniest of all the Brit comedy. I need to get myself back on here. I hate when they disappear you off the StreamYards. It really sucks. I'm only an avatar already. I can't be reduced to just, well, I mean, I guess I could be anything. I would be Sydney Sweeney, so I'd just stay at home and look at myself all day. But I can't be reduced to only that. Guys, I really thank everyone who's come by for the show. It really is a pleasure to be your entertainer in this hour. And you know what? Thursday night, we're going to have a big show for you. I think I'm going to try to get myself some guests. We'll see. But let's just see. Yellow Flash reacting on behalf of the Critical Drinker just a few hours ago. And also, like the Doctor Who episode this week has people just outright annoyed. I know WDW Pro is also talking about the Avengers tactics. It does sound desperate, right? It doesn't sound like very promising or very good. It doesn't sound very enjoyable to go see a movie and then find out a week later you didn't even know the goddamn name. I mean, that was pretty darn bad. So at any rate, keep your browser open, keep your feet on the ground, and keep reaching out for the stars. We're not done here yet, but you know what? I do think that the era of big corporate censorship is coming to an end. I think we are moving to a point where we're going to see a more fulsome and better response for creators like myself. And I think that the next video essay I make is going to be maybe one of the best yet. We are moving and setting sail. As we set sail, we ask God's blessing. As we set sail, you like that little JFK there, guys? As we set sail, we ask all of you to think about joining us, because in about 21 to 30 weeks, I think, forget the exact time frame, but man, I was all over that document giving my opinion about Star Trek, the Enterprise, and which ones we should and shouldn't watch. I had some pretty good ideas. I do think we should put the T'Pol spacecraft arc together. It's 3 episodes spread out over 5. So we should just put that together. 2 of them are back to back, and one of them is like 2 episodes away. We should just do the whole space track arc. Oh, hey. Well, welcome. I'm a little confused, but hey, you know, you're allowed to take whatever name you want. Welcome, General Teag. I like your name. And welcome. Just as long as people know you're not me. What the heck? I can't do anything. General Teag, go ahead. I wish you would differentiate the spelling a little bit, but hey, what can we do? Welcome. Good to see you. And we have been discussing the state of Marvel. With every Marvel movie for the last couple of years, we've heard that this is the big reset, and this is going to change stuff, and this is going to set stuff up. We've heard it about shows. We heard it about Deadpool and Wolverine. They're especially insistent about Deadpool and Wolverine. They tried for a little while to say it about Captain Falcon, but it was obvious they weren't going to sell it. They tried that middle of the show name change with Captain Falcon anyway. We saw them pull that at the end of that during the outro sequence. And the 2 bastard children of Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier show have just been meh. Like Cap 4, it was a really inhibited movie with a lot chopped out of it. It couldn't function as a That's right, General Teag's Random Adventures is Sean Carter. I have not forgotten. I know that. Where is Pleasant Valley Packlet, though? Where is Pleasant Valley Packlet? I heard that he's going to be on our panel next week. But at any rate, you know what? I did actually forget about that. You do so much in life. You know what I spent all this morning doing? I was working on DaVinci Resolve. Part of me wants to stick with Vegas. Part of me thinks DaVinci Resolve kind of works. Vegas is on sale for like 2 more weeks. I'm going to edit some stuff later today on DaVinci Resolve and see how I like it. It's a little confusing and overwhelming. For what I've already been doing, I don't know. Like, already know it. Someone who streams with me. Help me. Is it Krimlon? It's Krimlon. Krimlon! Krimlon! Is it you, Krimlon? Krimlon! Is it Krimlon? I know I've had fun with a lot of people with the fun. We have, on this channel, we have fun, intentional, ironic sock puppets because we've been sock puppeted so many times. But, yes, there we go. Krimlon! Krimlon, help! Help me, Krimlon! Krimlon! You know what? I have the superior comedy routine. I have the superior show. I can fill 2 hours better, and I think I just did that. I don't know what's going on with the Pack-Leads. Let me track them. The Pack-Leads are still out there. We're in bonus time. Let me tell you something. This whole thing with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we need to move on from both of them. The idea that like Superman for Marvel Century is now one of the Avengers and he's going to do anything in that next movie. Who's going to stand up to this fuck? And instead of having a villain, he's just going to get moody and get rehabilitated again. 2 straight Marvel movies in a row where we talked the villain out of being a villain and told him villainy was too villain. Sorry, guys, I messed the mic there for a second. This is 2 straight movies in a row that, you know what, we had a villain that was afraid to be villainous and we didn't get to enjoy a villainous performance. You know what? Sentry isn't a true villain. He's a victim of the movie's true villain. The movie is in denial and unaware. Hey, JT Kirk, welcome. The movie is in denial and unaware of who the real villain is. The real villain. See, read the terms of service. Adobe products will sometimes try to aid you and then claim rights to your work because you use their AI tools. Both Vegas and I think DaVinci also now come with an AI. The AI might be more optional on DaVinci. What bothers me is running 2 AIs means I won't be able to cut video out of the show to put a 4-second slice into my essay by running 2 browsers, by running 2 editing apps at once. By running 2 editing programs at once, I can cut up the episode right into whatever I'm using. And I don't know what I would use for this Thunderbolts, a lightning storm, like weather porn. Maybe I'll just use what they call weather prawn. It's just like different things of like cows getting blown away. Like basically the Twisters movie was weather prawn. And hail JT Kirk. It's great to see you. It's great to see all. And we are having a little bit of a talk here about the Avengers movie and about how like maybe it's not going to change its fate at all to call it anything else. I don't know what you do now. I mean, do you actually call every movie theater in America and tell them go out there and fix it? Change the name of your movie to Avengers? Change your name of your movie to Avengers, the new Avengers? And I said in a tweet last night, not the TNA that Marvel needed. Florence Pugh in untailored BDUs and a hoodie, snarking her way through this movie. I mean, can you really have is it really a good movie if everyone walks up and says their traits? This is what happens when Red Guardian meets Florence Pugh. You ready? Yelena, you are my daughter. I am so glad to see you during our life of secrecy in America with our wife, with your mother Salima. We tried so, but your mother Melina. I tried so hard to give you normal life. Oh, Dad, you're such a loser. No, but I care about you. You're a loser and you're not really my father. Oh, but I tried so hard to be your father. You must be like me. But you are Crimson Guardian who took Crimson Guardian super soldier serum and went to America on subterfuge mission, and I was not really your family, and you do not really care. But yes, I do really care. I try. And it's just like that is like he gets mocked for trying to be fatherly, and like he says her story, she says his back to him, and that's it. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she is just like checked out. She did what they told her to, but this is her character from Christmas Vacation. Absolutely unchanged from Christmas Vacation. She's an angry bitch who wears sunglasses at night and who is like whatever, a trendster. Does she look great for 62? I mean, is that the only accomplishment here? If that's the lowest bar, I mean, she looks great for 52. 62. She looks great for 62. Why that's the bar for Marvel women to be pretty, I don't know. Florence Pugh was uglied up so bad through this whole movie. And then the director and everyone else is trying to walk away from like the choices. They're like, oh yeah, we gave like this is a sign of a bad director, right? When he won't own the movie, he goes, I let all the actors be really free. That's something like if the actor says the director gave me great freedom, that's kind of a compliment to the director. If the director says he gave the actors great freedom, unless people are talking Academy Award for your movie, that's you trying to like distance yourself from a questionable performance. So someone says, look at me, like I gave Florence Pugh like ownership over Yelena. I let her be the Yelena she wanted to be. That is some crazy shit, and it's not like, you want Florence Pugh making that decision, because whatever, how old is she? Mid-20s? Who knows how dumb her ideas are? She is not qualified to make a decision on how a movie star should look unless they're making a movie called The Florence Pugh Story. All right? She's the best Florence Pugh I've ever seen. All right? She's the best Florence Pugh I've ever seen. But as far as her making any, real difference in this movie or moving the needle for Marvel, she looks unremarkable. She worked hard to look less good. She's pretty. Disney still hasn't shown it to us. And to say that it was her decision, I don't know. If you told me I could roll out of bed and come to work, so would I. If you're of a certain age, you were there that day in the early 20th century when the late 20th century when Casual Friday, early 20th century. I'm giving away that I'm an immortal Highlander. The late 20th century where they found out that you could sometimes dress the way you wanted to work at the end of the week if you did good work during the week. It was supposed to be like a reward. Casual Friday, like now it's casual every day. If people put anything on at all, like if you have a collared shirt and a jacket, you're like ahead of everybody else in this day and age. But on the road home, okay, so yeah, be careful. Watch that road. And no one understands me. Come on! No one understands me. They don't understand me. They don't understand me. They don't understand us. Come on. Come on. All right, let's see. Sean, I removed the music. Shorten it. Yeah. I would say there's probably a how-to video essay there. YouTube thing to watch. And like I said, this critical drinker thing, maybe work on your editing abilities. Sorry about that, guys. I was so excited about that chat that I punched my mic in excitement. JT Kirk says, frack commies and frack it, sycophants and frack the studios that support it while raking in billions in our free country. That's one of the reasons why we really do want to have a few words. And thank you, JT, my friend. I heart your chat. Can I heart this chat? I think I can. Let me see. Kremlin! Yes, I heart it. I heart your chat. And everyone should like JT Kirk's mighty pop culture statement. I am deprived of that poor power. I can only report him or put him in timeout. But you can like his chat and give it some more meanings. And all the interactions, we get help on the chats, in the poll, all the likes we get, it all is adding up. We got 19 now. Can we break it to over 20? Can we get it? If you're out there and you haven't liked the stream, please do so. Are you looking forward to Fantastic Four? Yes, it's going to be great. We are not exactly killing it. It has stayed the number 3 outcome. No, MCU is done, 54%, and taking a wait-and-see attitude, 25%. Real passion on this topic out there from you, my friends, and I so appreciate JT Kirk's very generous $5 super chat. One of the reasons why we're going to watch and put ourselves through the hell of Strange New Worlds, and I'm starting to wonder if we need to watch, like if we should watch it together. If it drops on Saturday nights, we will. I still maintain it's not coming out, but if it is, and it's probably not, but if it does, if Strange New Worlds does come out, and it just says, by the way, stuff I see today says summer 2025, so they're hedging a little more. There might still be June stuff out there, but now I'm seeing stuff that says summer. So, and hello, Lombardi 1969, Lombardi, what's up, my man? And it's good to see you, guys. I am not confident that this Thunderbolts name change will do much. I think it was always destined to have a less bad week 2 than the other movies. Whether or not this is about, is it about cope for the people at the studios? Is it about a good story to tell your investors? If all they're doing is trying to farm a good story to tell their investors, it brings the level of honesty into question, but it's like, at least, this is going to sound weird, one of the few understandable moves you've seen them pull off. Right? It's like, finally, We would rather you don't do it this way. Like, we'd rather not you guys not be so dumb about it. But all right, a movie we can understand. And I'm going to stress this one again. You only understood what was going on in the movie. The only reason you understood what was going on in Thunderbolts is because it was a very, very simple story. It wasn't ambitious, and also they stopped, and here come the cops. I'm right here. It was a very simple story. They started, reiterating the points at least once every 5 minutes, about 10 minutes into the movie. A lot of the movie was spent restating traits and resetting the stakes and restating the stakes and saying what we need to do. And then we just talk our bad guy out of being bad. And then we let our real villain off the hook. It was crazy that Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character pays no price for her dickery. But, that's the way it's got to be. This was an unfortunate movie, and to elevate it with the new Avengers thing, dumb. And you really, did you really waste one out of the chamber? What difference does this make? Is there an Avengers movie tab? Is there a cycle of Avengers movies on a playlist that this will now get added to, which will somehow pad its watch time? With a really fast tune-out, people will be like, wow, that was great watching the end of Infinity Wars, and then, this thing will start, and they'll be like, ugh. I didn't think that the Thunderbolts were worthy heroes. Ghost, we get nothing. Ghost is a second-tier bad guy. She was bad guy number 2, right? In Ant-Man and the Wasp. So Ant-Man 2, she was a secondary bad guy, and she had no resolution in her Ant-Man movie, and gets none here. Her development was that she was floopier and worse at getting through walls and doors, and at the end of the movie, she was a little bit better at it. It says if I'm new to streaming, you should do that. I don't know. I get a $10 discount if you use that link. Have fun with that one. You know what? I've thought about how it is to deal with StreamYards. I don't endorse them. I don't want that discount. But JT, thank you so much. And, oh my God, the numbers are jumping it's jumping from 1 to 5 over and over. Oh, it's hurting my mind. Oh, let me get back into my StreamYard room. Oh, God. Regular YouTube is acting up. Is it browser crashing out there? I hope not. But hail to all of you. And thanks for being here. What a fun time. Who would have thought that we'd still be out here all this time into it? I think the Packweds, the Packweds finally landed their ship. What are you going to do? It's over there in Packwed land, and I don't know what to say except that I feel pretty safe and pretty frisky. You know what? I think in the interest of peace, I'm probably going to be left alone. Let's see if that statement comes back to haunt me. But let's give it a couple of minutes, and we're ready to jump off as soon as things seem a little weird. But looking at raw views, this show seems to have outperformed others in its time slot, which started before it and had more pundits. So you got to feel very, very good about that one. And whoa, hey, General Teag, thank you so much with your 99-cent super sticker. All right. Not Kremlin. It's not Kremlin. Who could it be? How did I forget who General Teag's Random Adventures was? If I go to the page, will it help me? I should have more choices than this. You know what? I watched so much Red Dwarf and so much other sci-fi that I honestly, my brain, even during live streams, you can tell, I have sometimes I have what I call intermittent Biden disorder, where I could just Biden out. But wow, okay, so could it be OB2? No, it's not OB2. It's someone who sometimes streams with me. It's not RTNZ because the money's American. It's Gorilla. General Teag's Random Adventure. Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Is it Gorilla? I am just grateful. I am grateful. and Sweeney makes us go. Yeah, you know what? Talk about keeping your stream up. This will keep anything up. She is human Viagra, Viagra personified. By the way, Sinners, AP tells us, a 1932 set vampire movie about bootlegging brothers, both played by Michael B. Jordan, who opened a juke joint in their Mississippi hometown, has proven a spring sensation in the theaters and has collected $179.7 million domestically and $236 million globally so far. So that movie doing Marvel-like numbers. I don't know how long it's been out. I think this is like the weekend 2 for this one. This was full weekend 2, but it's doing great. Oh, wait, no, it's its 5th weekend. All right, so it's been out for a while. All right, but it run... Oh, wait, no, that's Minecraft is in weekend 5. So they're just saying a spring sensation, not giving us great info on the Sinners movie. Warner Brothers also nabbed 3rd place with a Minecraft movie. Smash it out of nowhere. More than 3 years after cinematographer the Alec Baldwin Western Rust arrived in theaters, its release brought some closure to one of Hollywood's greatest tragedies. Distributor Falling Forward Film didn't report the box office, but estimates suggested Rust grossed approximately $25,000 in 115 theaters. It sucks. That movie's a real lodestone. People are just glad it's over, right? First assistant director David Halls was sentenced to probation after pleading no contest. How is Baldwin not in trouble on that one? It's still, that law needs to be looked into. Something was done wrong writing that law. How could he have fired that gun and not been in some way negligent? I mean, he's been in too many movies with a gun, all the way back to like the early, the early late 20th century. He's been in too many movies. Sydney makes us go up. Yes, she is strong. She is strong. And thank you, by the way, General Teag's Random Adventures. You're the best. We are strong. We are strong. Kremlin! 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 They're out to get us, Kremlin! We got 8 people out there. We've talked about the top stories of the day. The biggest one really just is Critical Drinker censored. Hard to believe. It happens to the best of us. Let's take a look. The Critical Drinker, did he do a post on it? There's no community post. Well, the last community post was 3 hours ago. Okay, yeah. While we wait for HBO to unstrike my last video, Drinkers Extra Shots, Sinners. You know what? He hasn't stopped working. He's got the other channel, I guess. That copyright strike wasn't like a community guideline strike. It was like a copyright. Slow down. Hey, look at that. Guys, like this $5 chat for me. Look at this. Inhale. Kremlin. This weekend, go see Rust. Critics are raving. A sure hit. Baldwin hits the target twice. This is not to be missed. It hit both times. I saw him in an interview, and it's not against the law to lie to the public or lie in an interview. But Alec Baldwin, again, has been in too many movies not to know stuff that I know, like a single action versus a double action weapon. And a double action weapon, you can pull the trigger and have the gun go all the way off without having to pull back the hammer, right? That's single versus double. So a lot of guns are like first it's single, then it's double for every shot after that, right? But the first shot, you got to cock it. A lot of them, it's just you pull the trigger back, it unlocks, and you pull it the rest of the way back, and it goes. That's double action, right? So, I heard him saying that the gun was double action, but it's single, so he had to pull back the hammer, if I have that right. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not attempting to analyze it legally. I was baffled that he didn't get in more trouble. That just shows that maybe, even though we need to have our Second Amendment protected, we have to be thoughtful when we craft these laws. Because certainly we don't want to see Baldwin walking free after what he did. I think it offended a lot of our senses of right and wrong. A lot of people were upset by it. A lot of other people thought that maybe justice was done. And I believe that there is another path, if not to jail, to criminal responsibility and a large amount of money, which in the end of the day, our society allows far too much of. But I think that there's a path to like, isn't like there's now a civil case where he's in trouble? And I heard Brett Favre is out of trouble now. Hey, Buddy Hepburn, good to see you. It's good to see you here. Let's see. Don't point or shoot a pew pew. He only got off because he's rich and famous. He probably also the chain of custody of the thing before it was given to him and the assurances. And I heart your chat. Thank you, Sean. And everybody should give Sean a big thumbs up for that chat. I did. I can't though. So now it has made the readout of the number unstable. Yeah. You try to give something a like. There you go. I have done it. I have taken executive action and I have created a 7 out of that. But if you can see the way it looks on my screen, it is breaking up. It is unsightly and it is absolutely just it's going crazy. What can I tell you? I can share my readout. You can now see my readout on your screen. Sorry guys, little JFK there. Let's see. If I see, it's more stable on this. And we got 30 votes. Did we get 30 likes? That would be so awesome. 23 likes, a major uptick. And we're really doing well in the views. And I thank you guys for all the love and generosity. We're holding steady at 9 viewers. We're tied with our stream high was 10. It'd be great if we could get there. But you know what? Even one person would make it worth it. It's nice to have you guys here. It seems like we hung around long enough. And maybe a little bit of civilization and a little bit of goodwill will be shown, and the stream will be left alone for a few more minutes so we can enjoy ourselves. Or maybe people will choose to be next. I just don't know. I just don't know. Like, you know what? With 30 votes, we have to say here that this MCU discussion really has everybody invested, because usually a lot more people like the stream and want to see the results than end up actually voting for one or the other. On this one, no one wants anything to do with anything except saying how they feel, which means the choices represented everybody's feelings, and you gotta love that. And it means that everybody felt that staked in. So, whoa, radioactive. Wow. Quit gooping off with your super chats, guys. Do it right. And we got 2 amazing, gorgeous Admiral Teag emojis there. There we go. Thank you, Radioactive. Welcome to the new world. Radioactive. This weekend or next, I want to get together with Radioactive and Kremlon. And I want to watch Fury together. And then, like, we'll do that one as an upload and release that for people to listen to. I think it would be fun to do an upload of that. I have to get something together as far as editing software. What are you going to do? It has to happen. The DaVinci seems to be the way to go for now, but I'm worried about it. But then again, like, who cares if I miss the sale on the Vegas? If the DaVinci can do it and it's better, right? I can rent either one until I get a better deal. I must say, I was getting by well on 2019. It sucks. They no longer support it. You have to go new, was the impression I got. And the Vegas people, they're in Germany. So when you try to understand, and thank you, Sean, for thanking Radioactive. And Radioactive, I thank you. And I heart your chat. It's going to be one of those things like, I heart your chat. It should be on the Admiral Teag t-shirt. And you know what? Rather than having some kind of store here, and no one likes to push their store, but if people really wanted Admiral Teag stuff, you know what I might do is get a WordPress site and do it only on consignment. Like, you would know it would take a few weeks, but like I could just have an order for like saving Star Trek hats and t-shirts. Might be fun. And definitely, like, there's something to be done with merchandise that features things related to 1883, 1923, and Yellowstone. Those uncopyrightable year names are going to haunt them. There is no merchandise right now for 1883 and 1923. There's really none. There's none. There's like a t-shirt here and a blanket there and a hat here. Nothing great. I'm sorry. That wasn't my mic cutting out. That was me walking over to touch the screen so I could actually have the like register. And I had to pick up my phone and turn on my phone to like that like and to say thank you to Radioactive and everyone who gives him a like on there. I thank you for liking that super chat. Da Vinci helped Janeway through the shitty plots. The program can do anything. It's got AI. I wonder how far away we are from you being able to just like type out notes and have it do it. Are we less than 20 years from being able to write a fic in regular prose, dump it into a computer, and have it render a movie? Are we more than 20 years away from that? Get back a paginated error reports. You're like, okay, on page like 210, I didn't describe these ships well enough. I didn't like the way they looked. I can rewrite that. Nothing's ever done. Yeah, I was thinking that if I did do merch, it would be Star Trek related, obviously, Yellowstone related too. And then I'm like, why would you ever use the story here? If you see people like Doomcock and the Drinker sort of moving off from the YouTube store, clearly what you want is your own WordPress site. It's free and it's set up to sell, right? So you just go on there and you create a store. Drop shipping from a place that's not near my house that no one can come stalk me down at might be a little harder. I don't know. But then again, New York City, if you're brave enough to come here to fuck with me, you've earned the right. I'll meet you on top of the Silver Cup Studios building with my Claymore sword. Starving artists do the art on your merch. Yeah, you know what? I want to hire. I want to hire the same people who made the dresses for the Met Gala. How much do you want to bet that not all the people who made those dresses were high school graduate age? A lot of stuff going on in the fashion industry to keep those clothes cheap. That's not the most toward stuff. I don't know. I don't want a trade war because The Phantom Menace wasn't so great and Attack of the Clones was a problematically boring movie. But at the same time, like, I don't know if I really need my Adidas to be really cheap at the price of, someone else having that terrible of a life. At the same time, like, I don't know, without a reordering of the world economy, what's going to happen? I don't know if we're getting hosed or not. I know that, like, right now, there are places in the world where people do seem to work for a lot less money than they did here, even on the worst of conditions. Not historically, but, maybe in modern times. We'll put it to you that way. Historically, I think human rights has never taken the kind of beating it has in the last few years. But that's what's going on. That's the world we built for ourselves. And the people walking into that Met Gala, think about it. A lot of them are the most opinionated people. We had one of the people who ran for president walking in there. And they're saying she's stunned. That's a low bar for stunned. I don't know. It was it wasn't the greatest dress. It was an older woman's dress. It wasn't like that dress no one should call that dress stunning. But there was an adequate dress. It was okay. There was, whatever. What is she except now to me, except West Coast politician lady who hopefully they don't try to pull that one off again. Even AI OnlyFans is better now. I heard from a friend says Crimon. You know what? That's the ultimate starving artists, right? Because if they feed themselves too much, they go into a whole different niche audience and they have to start over again. You've got to starve yourself if you're an OF artist, I guess. I don't know. I'm glad I don't do it. I'll tell you that. Whoa. Okay, so our poll still has 30 votes. And as you can see, a lot of people think the MCU is done. A lot of us, let's see. Maybe some shirts with some comedic. Yeah, maybe. I will say this. Saying someone's take on religion is hypocritical is not going after God, but saying that going after you is going after God, that is the deadly sin of hubris. So I would just say you're allowed to have your own freedom of religious take. At least in my country, people are. I don't know about in centimeter land. I don't know about where the frosty communism goes, but here in the land of the red, white, and the blue, you're allowed to have your freedom of speech and your opinion about stuff. It's fine, but as far as this Fantastic Four movie, it doesn't look like a lot of people are anticipating it. We've got only now 44% willing to go to this movie. 44%. It's like a split percentage point, giving the surrounding both of the split points up. Oh man, you know what? What they really need is a movie that you can see that's just you can walk in. It's like 100 minutes long. It has like a clear story, and you just walk out and it's over. I'm not saying like the good old days of the movie 2012, but maybe the good old days of a movie just as simple as Stargate. And they introduced like a whole franchise that Roland Emmerich has nothing to do with, but we are missing out on the people who do who are doing sort of those more consumable movies. How about a mid-sized, sci-fi movie? Let's get out of the superhero genre. When was the last pure sci-fi movie? Really, it's been a little while. Crimon, they're out to get us, Crimon. They don't understand us, Crimon. They don't understand at all, Crimon. Oh, Crimon, they don't understand. I tried to explain to them, Crimon. I tried. You know what? I gotta say, it's been a blast of a stream, and we have maybe just a couple more things to talk about. People are talking about the GTA 6 trailer. I don't know how much excitement there is on that one. I will say that was an era all its own. GTA is always going to be a major gaming franchise. The trailer didn't show any gameplay, as FSG Steven Seagal pointed out. Shout out to him, my Rumble lawyer. But the trailer, as it was comprised of cutscenes, was promising and was centered on a male character, and it did seem like a worthy. What am I looking for? It seemed like a worthy successor to Vice City, with sort of accurate-looking drives from the Florida I-4 in the game. Some of that stuff looked a little real and a little familiar. And it seemed like maybe they had moved the time frame forward 20 years, which would make it 20 years ago still. It's weird that between their biggest primary game, so much time has passed that they can keep the time distance. Sorry, guys. Forgive me. Man, I wish I could see the big final Black Sabbath show in England, but it looks like that ain't going to happen for me. I know it's to be a pay-per-view event. I can only wonder how much the end costs. I've seen it's going to be marketed. I haven't seen for how much yet. Hey, Peter Venkman fan site is here. Hello, Peter Venkman's fan site is Venkman's Grow on X. They're always super supportive of this show, and I love when I see them here. It's great to see you. It's great to see all 10 of you. Here we go again. Oh, yeah, we forgot. Go light. Wow, that might be the smoothest it ever rolled off the tongue. I've had so much practice. Sorry, guys. I'm selectively muting and unmuting. If there's a little bit of mic noise because of it, that's because I'm very coughy today. I have a very like coughing my lungs up. So I've been turning the microphone off and on selectively because I'm a nice guy. That's what it's a class thing to do. God, in old school radio, not having a mute button, but that must have been the first thing they thought up, huh? I need to have a kill switch in here so I can clear my throat and breathe. Do I still run over people in the game and get chased by helicopters? No gameplay was shown, but this time it was focused on the male character instead of the female character. And Hypnotic pointed out that it was a lot less annoying and male-centric and looked more like a successor to Vice City. Other people were just pointing out, show us some gameplay. I got to agree, but like I was watching people play Grand Theft Auto reskinned, the old one from like damn near 15 years ago, and people are still loving it. Maybe it's more. What event is live streaming? Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, and that whole music fest surrounding his final show from Birmingham, England. And if he goes on at midnight there, that means it'll be like 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. here. So it'll be rough, but it'll be fun to watch it. But yes, if you haven't already, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. It would mean the world to me and mean the world to my mod, Buddy Hepburn. Sorry, I was between mutes there, buddy. My mod, Buddy Hepburn. I was between mutes there. I had to start coughing again. It is in spring in New York, every week some kind of new pollen comes into season, and either you're allergic to it or you're not. Last week, not so bad. This week, not so good. What can I say? At least I don't have the sinus headache, and everybody's getting acquainted, and it's great to see. I gotta say, I don't understand people who have, how is there a trailer with no gameplay? It was a trailer for the story, so it was all the cutscenes. They looked good, the story was worthy, it looked like they were going for a Natural Born Killers Bonnie and Clyde thing, but which has its own appeals. Yeah, the last few days it sucked for you too. Yeah, it's just that, like, it's, when you live in like a semi-moderate temperature region, like, what happens is in the spring you have trees that could make it in colder weather and trees that need to be here. And so like the really hardy trees start like blooming early in the spring, and like they can give you sinus stuff. And now like outside my house, like I see the ginkgo trees are blooming, and they are just the worst. But this year is an election year, so maybe they won't produce stink apples. They can spray something on the trees to keep them from becoming gendered. I'm not kidding. The trees, they can keep the trees from producing fruit. And you know what? That's one of the things I like about Michigan, JT. Michigan tree pollen has been tree pollen hell this week. But you know what the thing is? And Mitt Romney told us this, and you know what I'm going to say. In Michigan, the trees are just the right height. The trees are the right height in Michigan. And I'm if I was to be the leader of this country, I would pass a law saying that we should make those trees in Michigan 10 feet higher. But who am I? Who am I but to dare to call it the Gulf of Teag? But the Gulf of America is fine. I don't know why people are having a cow about that one. It's like a long-term whiplash effect. There's been a lot of people reacting to the Gulf of America thing in the last couple of days. I had fully absorbed it about 2 weeks ago. I mean, I've been using it in parlance. I mean, it's sunk in. At least we're not going to have another week show of snow sandwiched between snow, heat, and rain. Oh, another week of snow and heat and rain. Do you live in one of those places that has like all the weather in the same day sometimes? That's New York for you too. In New York, sometimes in the spring and fall, we have every season in one morning. You can have days that start out with like rainy snow or outright snow, and spring-like and beautiful, but like still just like damp and crappy, and there's like cold puddles everywhere. New York in the springtime, though, it has a certain beauty. The rain, just gosh knows after it rains here, it is still beautiful. Genesis Planet Weather Zone. Yeah, you know what? Like, why don't we do that? Like, why don't we put a biodome over the city like in Utopia Must Fall? New York State, just not New York City. Okay, upstate New York, a lot of places it's still jacket weather at night still. It's jacket weather at night here still in the city, on and off, but reliably jacket weather. And today, if I had wanted to wear a leather jacket, I could have. I was late and tired getting to the show because I walked from subway station to subway station to subway station. I have my fare card, says it has the radio frequency to be waived in the vicinity of the fare machine. A lot of the fare toll machines no longer take the card, and there's not going to be any cards after December 25th, which is a really quick change. Eric Adams is an idiot, but that's another story. He is a disgrace to people with two first names. He perpetuates the stereotypes. Take up your grievances with him. Eric Adams. Can't wait to vote him out. I hope I have a choice of someone better than who I think it'll be, but it'll be great when I get rid of him. My God. Did you see in the newspaper? My God. They're going to put a button into all the bodegas that get robbed a lot that get pushed that rings at 911 center. Yeah. You know, Eric Adams just does one long commercial that's like his mayoral reign has been one long reverse tourism commercial. He makes it seem like it's Gotham City and Batman 89. First come to the Biodome, then the Soylent Green, finally the Life Clocks, and then you're living in Logan's Run. Yeah, Logan's Run, definitely. And I wonder if there's a remake in that one. Because like post-apocalyptic stuff kind of comes in waves. Logan's Run, you could do a really good carousel right now. That's the thing Logan's Run really has stacked in its favor. You would have much better special effects. You could still maybe go with some classic matte paintings and other stuff to keep it nailed into reality to a degree that people would appreciate. Put a couple of artists to work with a decent matte painting, right? You've got that story. People liked it. Some of the people are still around for the first one. Put Michael York in it. Let him have his hello with everybody. Hello with everybody. It's your buddy Admiral Teag. They have been trying to make it for a long time. They've also been trying to remake, what do you call it? They got their Battlestar Galactica remake. It took forever. But they've been trying to remake not only Logan's Run, but Space 1999, with Space 2099 being the one that I've been hearing about the most. And I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Oh, that's what happened. Damn, browser crashes affect us all. On the micro, macro, and mini scale. Well, you know what? It's been a right good chat. I might be doing some Star Trek stuff with some people in collaboration later this week. More on that in the community tab. Winter for Auckland and meth. Yes, meth. And you know what? Auckland. Oh, yeah. Oh, some people have methods and some people have methods. Guys, you know what? I really am tempting fate here. We don't want the attack of the drones. So I will just say that this show was brought to you by the genius of the Hollywood film industry. God knows that we would be nowhere without that Hollywood film genius by you, the people who took our poll. Right now, it's stuck at 30 votes, but it's not going any further. I'm closing it out. The results were, for our poll, are you looking forward to Fantastic Four? No, the MCU is done. 56%. 56% of you said that. Are you looking forward to the Fantastic Four? No, it's done. Taking a wait-and-see attitude, 26%. Yeah, it's going to be great, 16%. And that's everybody. So that's only 34%, 44%, 42, 43% looking to see the movie outright. Like most of those waiting on a good endorsement, and about 16% really are just, they're going to see it. Like they think it'll be great. There's always that chance, I guess, you know? Well, they keep making movies long enough, they might correct enough to get off of this terrible skid they've been on for so long. It has been a real drag. And hey, Sydney, what's up, baby? There we go. Let you take a look at Sydney. Exit Light. It did have a TV series. It had Mr. Hand, I think was the robot, or was Burgess Meredith that Burgess Meredith played, right? That was a weird fucking show. It didn't last that long. Gregory Harrison, right? And I forget who played the girl. Yes, it was on CBS. It probably was. So here's our poll. 30 votes. There is no sanctuary, but there are the greatest subscribers and channel members in the world. That's you guys. I love you guys. You're the best. Thursday we'll be on around 9:30, 10 o'clock. It'll be a wild night if I do it at all. Otherwise, look for me on Friday at this time. All right, Thursday up in the air. We'll find out. Friday though, let's meet here, same time, and we'll have a real good time together. This channel and this broadcast is brought to you by the genius of the people who made the movies that we critiqued. Be they geniuses or not, they are a part of this process. And also the financial help of channel members like RRTNZ, Sean Carter, JT Kirk, and General Teague's Random Adventures, who has given their first live stream super sticker. I forgot who it is. I forgot. And Go See Rust, Sean Carter, and Radioactive have all contributed to this one. Donald Moffat played Rem. He was in The Thing. Is that what it was? There was that whole freaking TV show, I don't think it lasts even the whole season. It didn't have enough momentum, and I think it was hard to make. That was the problem with that one. It doesn't hold up really well in the reviewing. Last time I watched it, like UFO was a lot better, but I would be willing to look at it again, at least their pilot, see how it goes. Let's see. General Teag, Gregory Harrison played Logan 5. Heather Menzies Urich was that so because she was Robert Urich's wife later. Heather Menzies Urich was Jessica 6, and Donald Moffat played Rem, an android character that was not in the film version. Yeah. It was kind of like a Spock-like android. I remember that android. It looked like Burgess or Mr. Hand. It was like older and sage-like. It was like, I am your robot buddy. I am like 7 Zark 7 from G-Force. And he sucked. And the show was not all that great. I guess it only had license from the movie and not the book. So it's like, at the end, it didn't pass judgment. All right, well, it's been a great show, and you know what? The trumpets are telling me it's time to move off. I think I've stayed. Dad Treats the Logan's Run TV show and the Planet of the Apes show is taking place at the same time on different parts of the planet. That would make sense to me, especially as a kid then. I thank all of you for being here. It's been a fun stream. I loved hanging out with you, and I loved having Sydney Sweeney on screen the whole time. That was great. You guys, here she is in some of her glory. They won't let me show her all of you. But George Lucas and Sydney Sweeney will take us out. I'll see you on Thursday at 10, but definitely Friday at 3 Eastern Standard Time, all times Eastern. I love you all, and thanks to everyone who donated to the stream and the show. Thank you very much. I love you all.
Do you want the Star Wars trilogy and the mythology to go beyond your life?
No. 3 will be the last film, and it'll be a 6-part series, and that'll be the end of it.
Incorrect. You're not mentoring someone to take over for you?
No, it's
automatic defense procedures initiated.
There may be other venues for it, but not in the theatrical release.
Affirmative.
I don't want to have it just sort of turn into Star Trek.